Good morning, I'm Ryan Baker. Jackson Smith-Njigba can officially call himself the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year. The Pro Football Writers of America named Smith-Njigba that yesterday. JSN had 119 catches for 1,793 yards and 10 touchdowns, helping the Seattle Seahawks get to the NFC Championship game this Sunday. Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett was named Defensive Player of the Year. Garrett broke the single-season sack record with 23. Ohio State added punter Brady Young to the roster yesterday. Young, a native of Perrysburg, Ohio, attended Cincinnati for 4 years before transferring to Houston Christian last season. Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at El Vaquero. From now until March 31st, buy one quesadilla, get one free on the app. Terms apply. Breaking sports news as it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
and
then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Bo, the boys with you for the next three. In this case, the boys. The great Mr. Joshua Perry is in. JP, and good to see you, buddy. Bake here as well. Loaded up here on the program today. 10 o'clock, we open up the mailbag, full mailbag. And should we do this right away, Bake? It's official now. It's on the site.
Yeah, I think we should.
I think it's important to get it right out of the way and let the folks know the top men couldn't get it done. Couldn't get the email. So we just took matters into our own hands. It only took us 3 months, Bake. But we did get it done. And so 971BFS at Gmail is where your mailbag questions can be answered. And so we've already got a gaggle of them in there. And so we'll get into that at 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock, we will attempt to beat the house. 11:30, a little bit of Shelley time. Here's the cool thing. Joshua, I was thinking about this. I was trying to think of the list of athletes that I covered as high school kids, college stars, and then knew them as adults. And it might be just you.
Wow.
Wow. You might be one of one.
I mean, it's insane getting to kind of come full circle with people who I knew back before anybody else knew who I was.
Yeah.
Like I saw Jared Smalley at the airport when I was going to Miami on Friday. He was another one who, when I was a high school athlete, had covered me, and obviously while I was at Ohio State. But you and I have gone back to the high school days, as you mentioned, at Ohio State. We worked together previously. I filled in on this show in the past as well. Have gotten to know you and your family, which all of you are lovely. So I'm excited to be here today.
Buddy, it's great. And I used to call you the governor when you were a player. I used to call Tyvus the senator when you guys were certainly your junior year, obviously, was when you were the two guys that I would seek out on road trips. I would seek you guys out in the locker room because you guys are very natural and in different tones, obviously, and those tones still remain different, but you were just so good at being able to sum up what had just happened. And it was rare. It's rare for college kids at any level of their college career. Maybe a little easier now where you have guys who are 7 years into their college careers. But you guys were still in your late teens, early 20s, and you guys were just naturals. You just were very, very good. And then I've told the story many times. After every single Buckeye game your junior year, I would find your parents afterwards, after doing the interviews, and give them a hug. I would do that every single game your junior year, and that became a tradition. I would look for them after games, and so yeah, it's awesome. And your young family and your successes are a surprise to none of us who have known you for a long time. You were down in Miami for the national championship game, and one thing that I'm trying to instill in my boys is be confident in what you know, but never stop learning. And in college football, the never stop learning part is something that we have to do perpetually. It never stops. And you have a front row seat every Saturday at NBC. You were down there on Monday. When you think about what we've learned about the sport over the last couple of years, and you think about the power of the sport was all down there, and you were in the middle of it on Monday, what did you learn?
I think there are a couple things that stand out. Number one, and coaches talk about this all the time, and I don't think that many people know how to achieve it. The team that won in Indiana, the program that won, they have elite alignment. And so I think that's really important in getting the job done, in seeing their university president and their athletic director and their head coach down there and seeing how aligned they actually are in their vision of what they want the program to be. I think that's big. We know NIL is an impact. We know that the portal has been an impact. One of the things that stood out to me, and we've seen this now with the Michigan title run. We saw it when Ohio State really came alive in the postseason last year. And then with both of the teams that made it to the national title game this year, football is so different, but it's not. And what I mean by that is the best teams are winning at the line of scrimmage. They got ass kickers up front. Miami, great line of scrimmage team. When they're playing at their best, that offensive line, phenomenal. We know the aliens they have on the defensive line. Indiana, one of the best line of scrimmage teams all year long, and it's not getting it done with aliens. They're getting it done through scheme and technique and discipline and all those different things. But both those teams wanted to run the football. Both of those teams wanted to control the line of scrimmage defensively. And to me, I think that is just kind of what the sport has always been and will continue to be. So It's not even anything you really learn. It's just a thing that you recognize has not changed very much.
No, that part I remember vividly. The first year I was here was 2007. They were playing LSU for the national title, and I had come from the South at that time, and everyone was up here was talking about SEC speed, and the national narrative was about SEC speed. But it wasn't the SEC speed, it was the trenches. It was the trenches where warfare was won and lost. And that goes back. I mean, you could do that 100 years ago, too. I'm sure that's always been the case. And that's something Urban put an onus on right away here. Like, we've got to upgrade this. We're not good enough on the lines of scrimmage. People forget this, but probably the most important recruit of Urban Meyer's early tenure was Noah Spence.
Yes.
He recruited him in about 6 days, and he really wasn't on the radar, and they landed him, and he was a 5-star defensive end from Pennsylvania, can't-miss type kid. And the thinking was that sent a message that we need those guys. And then Bosa's and Young and all the rest followed. But at that time, that was him telling college football and telling a collective Buckeye Nation, we've got to be better up front. And that was the first kid that he went after. And the career didn't go the way that he thought, obviously, and for myriad reasons. But the idea was a message was sent that it was in the trenches. How did it set with you? And you had a front row seat, as I mentioned, every single Saturday. How do you wrap your head around Indiana 16-0 national champs?
The context around it is insane, right? Like I've talked about this a million times, but everybody knows it was the losingest program in college football history up until about halfway through this year.
Yeah.
I watched, for the first time in my lifetime, I watched Indiana win a postseason game. They won 3 of them, which, by the way, they had only won 3 postseason games in their history up until this year. And so this is a sport where typically teams who have not been able to break through aren't just going to break through. And I really don't care about NIL, and I don't care about the transfer portal when it comes to that. It's just not something that you see. But they kind of went off the beaten path, and they hired a non-traditional coaching candidate who was in his 60s and had gone through the D2 route and then up through FCS and you know, to get to James Madison when they moved to FBS and then to get to Indiana. So they got that part right. Then all of a sudden you figure out that this is a program that has the largest living alumni base. Your neighbors,
I didn't know that.
Your neighbors might have gone to Indiana. Your doctor might have gone to Indiana. People you work with, you never knew it because they had nothing to root for. But that's exactly what it is. And so you get all of those things that happen, and you get a fan base that's involved and will travel, and you get a coach that knows how to identify and develop talent. And I guess you can flip things in 2 years at a place that has never had success before. It's one of the wildest things that I have ever witnessed, like not just in sports, but generally, the idea of lifting that place to what it became on Monday night. And it was great watching the journey. I've said this before, Bryant Haynes, their defensive coordinator, was with us in 2013, sat in the linebacker room as a GA. Saw him immediately after the game. It hadn't even sunk into him. But knowing the type of people that were involved in that build there over the last couple years, you're also really happy that they were able to see the success that they've been working for their whole career.
What Joshua just said and what we have heard this week about Indiana having the largest alumni base just blows my mind, because my whole life I've been told it's Ohio State and Texas. Ohio State and Texas, Ohio State and Texas, and they just flip-flopped back and forth. Indiana has the largest alumni base? That's insane.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I mocked Cignetti for that? This was like a month ago. I'm like, that's nonsense. Where did he get that? He's just saying stuff emphatically out loud. And then my buddy Jason Forcione, who's an alumnus, he's like, no, actually, he texted me during the show. He's like, actually, that's true. We do. And I went, okay. So then I looked at it. Sure enough, they do. I had no idea.
It continues to prove you wrong.
Well, yeah, I know. He just continues to prove me wrong. I'm going to have to voice his damn 30 for 30, which is going to make me just absolutely nauseous. Here's one thing that NIL did and transfer portal did, Joshua, that would not have happened a bunch, but definitely wouldn't have happened a decade ago. If Curt Cignetti had that 10-2 season at Indiana in the old era, he would have gone to another job after 1 year. After 1 year. What NIL did, and largest living alumni base, and Cuban, and tech money, and all of that stuff you're talking about, what that did is it allowed Indiana to be sustainable. That's the impact of NIL at a place like Indiana, and I think you're going to see it at places like Texas A&M and Texas Tech, potentially Oklahoma State, places that are liquid, that have donors who are triggered and ready to fire. You can do it. And I think that kept Cignetti at Indiana in a previous era. He may be the head coach at Penn State right now.
I'll take it a step further too. I think the expanded playoff, for all the reasons I don't like it, it's given coaches a reason to stay at schools, because there are more pathways than just being the coach at Ohio State or being the coach at Michigan or Penn State or Alabama, LSU, whatever. I think that's been a big part of it too. Like we saw Clark Lee stay at Vanderbilt. He's another candidate. And obviously he feels better about how he can build his program and his roster, but he also feels like being in the SEC, he's got a decent shot of a path to the playoffs. And I think opening up those pathways has made coaches look at their situation and say, I don't necessarily need to be at the biggest brand to have a chance to win in the postseason.
I don't need to be at the biggest brand, but I got to have an endowment and I got to have boosters who are ready. And he's got that at Vanderbilt. And there's something you said there about the 12-team playoff I want to dig in a little bit. Also want to get some thoughts on the Buckeye portal. Largely done. They did add another guy last night, and I'm sure they're just going to continue to be trolling a little bit in the waters looking for fish that'll bite. We will dig in on that coming up. Joshua Perry in for Reese. We're off and running on a Thursday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Everybody, it's Berm here, Jeremy Birmingham from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan, and I have the least exciting update I can give you. Awaken 180 is still working. That is actually fairly inconvenient because I don't have anything dramatic to complain about. I'm 5 weeks in, I'm down over 30 pounds, and there hasn't been a single plot twist. There hasn't been a stall. There's no mystery week where everything stops making sense. I simply follow the plan, I eat what I'm supposed to eat, and the scale does what it's designed to do too. Weight loss usually feels like a guessing game where you're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. But Awaken 180 doesn't. There's structure, there's coaching, and there's zero need for motivational speeches in the mirror. I'm not negotiating with myself. I'm not starting over every Monday. I'm moving forward, enjoying the ride, feeling a whole lot better, and watching years of bad habits quietly get undone. Do what we all did and make your own 180 with Awaken 180. Go online at awaken180weightloss.com, 844-346-1800. Awaken180weightloss.com.
What does it mean to live here, serve here in the Ohio Army National Guard?
It means I can attend college full-time and not have to take out student loans to pay for my tuition.
It means I can work my civilian job during the week and support my state and nation in times of need.
You too can live here, serve here as a member of the Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with full-time benefits at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Winters can be brutal here in the Columbus area, and if you're cold in your home with the heat running constantly, it's probably your old, inefficient windows that are the problem. The good news is that Window Nation can help you get through this season because in the last 20 years, they've installed over 3 million energy-efficient windows nationally, and they're trusted by thousands of Columbus homeowners to keep their homes comfy and cozy year-round, while also saving them money on monthly utility bills. And right now, they're more affordable during the Window Nation Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale. It's a great time to replace all the windows in your home. Plus, you could get your windows with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. You'll be surprised by the dramatic difference new windows will make. Your home will be better protected against the weather, feel warm and dry, and you'll love the lower utility bills. The pros at Window Nation will guide you every step of the way. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Save big with Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 sale going on now. The sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com right now. Window Nation, a proud partner of Ohio State Athletics.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Hi, the Scott Antique Markets are back again at the Ohio Expo Center, featuring hundreds of vendors with collectibles and merchandise from all over the world. The market is one weekend monthly, November through March. Build your family heirlooms. You can find everything that gets old. Just take I-71 to exit 111 to enjoy America's favorite treasure hunt. Visit thescottantiquemarket.com for more information. Come join us at the Ohio Expo Center for the Scott Antique Markets. It's huge. It's the Scott Antique Markets this weekend.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We will see partly sunny skies today with temperatures right around that freezing mark and gusty winds, so there will be a wind chill in place. And then for tonight, mostly cloudy overnight with our lows in the teens. For Friday, partly sunny with temperatures falling throughout the day. We will only get into the teens for highs with the feels like eventually getting below zero again with gusty winds continuing. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
T-Bone and Tyvus are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan. 10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Joshua Perry in for Reese, Bishop and Friends here on The Fan. Of course, brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. 2 locations, Sawmill, Easton. They will take care of you. I assure you of that. JP, you said something that is interesting. You said you talked about the 12-team playoff and the hope that comes with it. This is one of the few things, and I am often and at length greatly critical of everything that's a lot that's happened in terms of the adults in the room and the sport over the last decade. But one thing that, and I'm not going to give them credit for this because I don't think they did this intentional. I think this is an unintended consequence. The idea that the portal and NIL happened along with the 12-team playoff, I think allows for it to work. I don't know if you didn't have those things, if a 12-team playoff would work the way that it did. I mean, look at, obviously Indiana was the 1 seed, but just think of the teams that have played for it in the first 2 years. Think about what has happened, especially once you got past that first round and some of those automatic qualifiers that were in the dance that otherwise wouldn't have been. You think about the upsets that happened. You think about the results that happened. You think about the idea that Indiana played Miami for a national championship and Ohio State played Notre Dame the year before. And you think about when you look at the favorites for next year, the 12-team playoff happening at the time when roster chaos is at its highest peak allows for more hope. It allows for Clark Lee to stay at Vanderbilt. It allows for Cignetti to stay at Indiana. It allows for what happened at Texas Tech and for them to reload and get the number 1 or number 2 quarterback in the portal, however you want to rate him. It allows for all of that. I'm not giving them credit, buddy, because I don't think they intended for it to work this way. I don't think they put any thought into it. I think they just basically said, Jesus, take the wheel, don't believe in Jesus, and hope for the best. But in this one instance, all of those things happening at the same time allowed for something this sport's never had, which is true parity. College football's not built on parity.
No.
College football's a class system.
It's such an interesting thing to me. And I agree with you. I think the first year of the 12-team playoff validated the size of the field because you had teams like Ohio State and Notre Dame play for it all that wouldn't have made it into a 4-team field or certainly wouldn't have been in the BCS era. And so this idea of maybe teams that are peaking at the right time, different pathways, that makes sense. To your point, Indiana, non-traditional power, talent is flattened across the sport. They can make it in. And then you have Miami, who is another team that was the last at-large in, who's able to make a run at the end of the year. I think my issue with all of this is that the sport is at its highest popularity, which is great, and things tend to happen the right way, which is awesome. But the leaders of this sport are just terrible when it comes to processes that make sense. The portal and NIL are unhinged. They don't make a lot of sense in practice, but it ends up working out to where we have a product that people are really enjoying. The process of selection for the 12-team playoff is asinine. It's not good, but it ends up being a really good product that a lot of people want to watch because who doesn't want more football and games that have stakes? So I'm with you. There's none of this that they could have ever planned to go as well as it's going, and I wish that they would tighten up the processes so we could trust them more. But at the end of the day, we're sitting here and we're feeling really good about a lot of the things that we saw because we have more balanced rosters and we have different teams that can make a run to the end. We feel like your team's not counted out after having a loss or even 2 losses in the year, and those are all positives.
They are. It succeeds despite itself.
Yes.
Is the reality.
Yes.
We as fans of first of all, we love football, obviously, and the NFL is the peak of it, and it's dominant. And second is eighth, and in this instance, the eighth is college football, and then ninth is 50th. I mean, the rest, every other sport in this country is, from a rating standpoint, in terms of attention, is floundering. Those two are rising above it. The NFL, for all of its warts, and there are plenty, it has a structure to it that everybody agrees to and is done. The thing that I'm curious about, and you're down in Miami and all the power brokers were down there, is there any groupthink at all about how to get some sort of a lasso around any of this? Because one thing that I was optimistic of a year ago at this time is that Tony Petitti, the commissioner of the Big Ten, and Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, at that point they were felt like they were rowing in the same direction and they wanted similar things. I don't sense that anymore. When I start to hear stuff leak out of Big Ten, I start hearing about 24-team playoff. And I'm against all of that. I have no interest in 24 teams. I know why he's doing it. He's trying to find money. I get it. But at the same time, I don't have an interest in that. I think 12 is at most 16, and then you got to get rid of conference championship games. But to me, that's the spot. I think there has to be some calendar integrity, in this dialogue going forward. When you were down there and talking to the other movers and shakers in the sport, was there any optimism that the two could work together to come up with some sort of a plan that is co-authored by those two leagues?
It's such an interesting thing. I ran into to 3 conference commissioners and multiple athletic directors, and it's kind of the same question that you ask all of them is what does the future look like? What do you want to see? And what you start to realize is how siloed this sport is, where the SEC and the Big Ten have very different interests, and those interests are very different than what the Big 12 would want or what the ACC would want. And then even within that, what Ross wants here is probably a little bit different than what Scott Dolson at Indiana would want. And you can just go down the list. And so I think part of the true issue of trying to find solutions in this sport is everybody realizes that things need to change and there needs to be more structure and needs to be better. Nobody can agree on what that structure looks like because everybody has their own interests as a conference. And then even within those conferences, like not all 18 institutions are going to be on the same page. We saw that with the private equity thing, which I'm glad they squashed. But this idea of trying to get consensus anywhere, I feel like everybody has something they're trying to protect, and they're not all the same thing, unfortunately.
No, and it's I mean, the Big Ten has become, with all the incredible success in football, which is Paul's going to join us at 10:30, and he had some very pointed comments on the SEC and the inability to compete and the money and all of those things. He ate quite a bit of crow, and we'll ask him about that and what he learned this week, other than Big Ten dominance is here to stay. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. There are Big Ten schools, Joshua, that haven't even really engaged financially the way that they could, like Michigan State.
Yeah.
Like if Michigan State wants to be Texas Tech, they can, and I don't know if Pat wants that, but if they want to do it, they can do it in a blink. I mean, they got 3 billionaire boosters. Yeah, Two of them don't like each other and are ultra competitive.
Matt Ishbia is spending money, you know.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
And Gilbert.
Right.
Both, and they hate each other.
Yes.
So for them, it's a my stack's bigger than yours competition every 2 seconds. And so Michigan State's going to benefit from that. Penn State hasn't really engaged. Not really. Not yet.
They're trying to.
They're trying to, but they can.
They have a lot of chaos. I think their problem is they can't agree. I talked about alignment with Indiana. They got all on the same page. Penn State's problem is they can't get on the same page.
No, I had no idea. We were talking to, I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but I had no idea like how much of a absolute splinter cell Jay Paterno is over there.
Yes.
And the damage that he's done is stunning.
It's bad.
I did not have any sort of grasp of that. But there's others. There's Nebraska. There's schools like Washington. There's a school like USC. There are these schools that have these massive, that if they ever really truly wanted to engage financially, could absolutely throw money at programs the way Texas Tech has.
Let's say the quiet
Indiana
part
has
out loud when it comes to the Big Ten. It was a detriment in the old system because these are schools that are good academic institutions and they actually care about that. And they're large universities with big fan bases. Yeah. And so now when you put all of that in context, there's a lot of people who make really good money that can support these universities. Go down south, Ole Miss accepts 97% of applicants, right? Like that, it's just not the same, right? And so, yes, the Big Ten is in a spot money-wise where they can get the job done. I think the other thing culturally in the Big Ten that has helped in this new era is as talent has flattened, the Big Ten always had to be a conference that had well-coached teams. It's the Iowas of the world, Michigan State under D'Antonio and how they used to get it done, what we saw with Wisconsin, right? They're well-coached teams because they always knew that they just couldn't have the same roster as Alabama or Georgia. Well, now that talent's flattened out and recruiting maybe is a secondary skill as a coach, the Big Ten was in a better spot to be ahead of the curve in terms of how they develop their players and how they execute on game day. I think down south, they're still trying to reconcile with the fact that you can't staff your coaching staff with 9 guys who are elite recruiters but can't teach and can't develop. You got to get guys who are great teachers, and they're still learning that down there too.
You use the word develop, and one of the things you walk around the Woody, it says developed here over and over again. I think that's cooked. We're going to dig on that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Tri-State Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Tri-State Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations in the area to serve you in Hilliard and Westerville.
Matty Ice here. It's a new year, so why not start it off with a new car from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion, where the savings are rolling all month long. You can lease a brand new 26 Chevy Equinox LT for just $279 a month for 36 months with $3,369 due at signing. Or if financing is more your style, grab it for only $399 a month for 96 months with $1,000 due at signing. Terms and restrictions apply. They're just off Route 23095 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
It may be winter outside, but inside the Ohio Expo Center, it's golf season. The Columbus Golf Show is back for 3 days only, January 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Save up to 70% on golf equipment, accessories, and apparel, even vacation packages. Test the newest clubs, compete in skills competitions for great prizes, and get a free lesson from a PGA pro. Come tee it up indoors this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center, January 23rd, 24th, and 25th. For tickets, go to ColumbusGolfShow.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
All right, here's what's up on a Thursday edition of the program. We were talking about developed here. Use the word developed, which has been such a sense of pride, right? And you're one of those guys, right? You're one of those guys. Developed here. There's a laundry list of them. It's everywhere at the Woody. I said earlier this week, I think that that's largely extinct in terms of the way that it used to be. And I'm curious where you sit on this. I'm trying to we have this conversation about what we learned and how it can apply. And the reality is that Ohio State probably has, along with LSU and Texas and maybe a handful of others that have, and there aren't many, there really aren't, folks, that have the perfect blend to handle all of this. And there are going to be bumps in the road, and you're making adjustments in real time. But what I think you need in major college football to be successful going forward is, I think, number one, it sure helps to have a fertile recruiting area. And that goes back to the development, and I'll get to that in just a second because I think it's just going to be a due type of development. But I think you have to have a fertile recruiting ground. I think that's important because I think you need a baseline of talent. I think the second thing you need is you need to be in either a city of industry with multiple financial spigots that you can tap from, or you need to have incredibly motivated boosters. So this is the incredibly motivated boosters. That's your Texas Techs, right? So you have to have that. And then the next thing you need to have what you said, which is alignment. So if I'm Ryan Day and Mark Pantoni and I'm building Ohio State in this climate, like I said this earlier in the week, I don't know if Ohio State will ever start a redshirt freshman quarterback again. You really wouldn't need to.
Yeah.
You really wouldn't. And I don't know if you can afford to, because I don't know if you can afford to pay a five-star quarterback in the portal to sit for 2 years before playing. I don't know if you can do that anymore. That might be something that changes here. My hunch is Ohio State's recruiting classes will be between 15 and 20 instead of 25 and more, 15 and 20. My belief would be that you might pay for the sure things. You're going to pay for your Jeremiah Smiths. You're going to pay for your Chris Henry Juniors, like guys who can come in and plug and play right away. Devin Sanchez played a lot, played through some warts, but he played a lot as a true freshman. He was compensated and he played. I don't think you can pay people not to play. So I think you'll pay 4 to 5, 6 guys in a recruiting class. And then this is where I come full circle on the developed tier thing. The rest of that class is probably going to have to be kids who it's their entire dream was to play at Ohio State. And they're willing to do so at maybe less, or maybe they don't have big money offers elsewhere, and they're kids who are truly, you have to develop. And then the majority of your roster building, the high-end roster building, is going to be done in the portal. That's kind of the way that I see this thing going. Do you have any issues with the way I see it? Do you think there's a different way that you would do it? Or can developed here the old way, can that still work?
I don't know if it can still work for everybody. I think it can work at some places. Georgia has been a team that hasn't had a ton of roster turnover, and they've largely built through high school recruiting, and they don't have a ton of transfers or guys that really leave. And again, right, like, is it still the same Georgia we saw a couple years ago? No. Is that because of some of the changes? Probably, but I still think they're a team that you would put in that they can win a title. I'm looking at the odds for next year to win the college football playoff. Julian's saying basically we can call him a high school recruit here. I know he enrolled at Alabama, but we can call him that. So that's a quarterback that developed there. Texas with Arch Manning, right? Like he started there. He's going to continue to start there. Notre Dame with C.J. Carr. He started there. He's going to continue to start there. Georgia and Gunnar Stockton, right? Like you go down the list. Some of these teams have figured that part out. So I think the big brands are still going to be able to sell a little bit of that. We're going to pay you out of high school. You might have to sit for a second, but we believe in you. We're going to develop you. Now, where they can make the changes, if it ain't working out, you just go out and you get you a quarterback. You do what Indiana did and go get a quarterback, right? Like you do it. Miami, right? Go get a quarterback. We did it when we won the championship. Go get a quarterback. So I think it's a blend there for sure. But I still believe that coaches value having guys come up through their program. I think the difference is some of the players that they want to invest in start getting cold feet and saying, well, I haven't played this year. I might not play next year. Are you going to pay me to keep me here because you believe in me, or am I just going to go? And then at that point, that's where you have to start backfilling your roster.
I think coaches do want the blend, and I think they would prefer to continue building through their high school roster. But I just think of like Quincy Porter and Mylan Graham, and I don't know how much money those guys got this year for sure. You hear rumors, but you can't pay someone $1 million or more than $1 million to come on your team and play on your team and not play.
True.
Not contribute. And until there is some kind of rules put in place, which I don't know, we may be past that by now. It cracks me up when I see these Ohio State coaches right now out on the recruiting trail and offering kids for 2028. Like, what are we even doing? Like, especially not a kid that you know for sure. Like, it's not Jeremiah Smith. It's, an offensive lineman that may be a 4-star and pretty good, but can you even waste your resources into that right now, the way the game is?
The problem is that if you want to get proven production out of the portal, it costs money, right? Like all these kids you're going to have to pay them at some point, I guess, is what it comes down to. And we've seen with the quarterback market, for example, like imagine if Ohio State had to go and get a quarterback this year. They might be paying $5 or $6 million to a kid to get him on campus. And by the way, like you better hope it works and that he's a fit in whatever you want to do, or else you just wasted $6 million for a year. I think that's where it becomes intriguing, where it's so easy to say that you'd rather put your resources into the proven production. There's only so much money you can spend. And to get a high-end guy that would play at a place like Ohio State, if you're grabbing him out of the portal, the price tag is certainly going to be high.
The kids that you mentioned, Porter and Graham Bake, think Scott West too, right? The two defensive backs, one's at Wisconsin, ends up at Oregon. Those were kids that I think, if you to a man, they would have thought, well, you're going to contend for playing time and be a starter. Like it's time. Like you paid your dues. But the problem with the developed here thing now is you took those are Ohioans. Those kids are Ohioans. You recruited them here. I'm sure they were compensated, maybe not to the level that they would hoped. But all of a sudden, they throw their name in the portal. They're worth more to Luke Fickell and to Dan Lanning, and they wrote checks. Now, you had them, and you know what they are, and I guess you could have matched it maybe you could have matched it, maybe you couldn't have. But that comes back to, you think about Porter and Graham, too. I mean, those were 5-star guys in recruiting. I mean, Porter was only here for a year and then out. And in a true free market, which is what we have, it might have been something very similar. Like, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, Joshua, like, you think if you went up to Quincy Porter and you put him in a lie detector test, he thought he'd be playing wide receiver at Notre Dame? Like, I don't know where they were in the process, but in the recruiting process, but Notre Dame needs him. Notre Dame financially incentivized, and they went and got him. And he's going to start. He has to start at Notre Dame next year. He's got to go. Ohio State had him for a year. They had to make a decision. Is he a dude that we want to allocate big money to, or did that big money go to Chris Henry Jr.? And I don't know that. I'm just saying those are the type of decisions that are being made.
I mean, did some of the big money go to Jeremiah, and you look around and say that you can't allocate X percent of your cap just to the wide receiver room, right? Like, this is part of the conundrum here is also the roster building philosophy in terms of where you're spending the money. And if you got to sink money into a guy who's generational, can you afford when the rest of the wide receivers come in and say, I need a $300,000-$400,000 raise? Like, is that something that you can do and that you're willing to do? And I think that's part of the calculus as well. But to your point, it's such an interesting thing that you said about the value to a team, where if you're at Ohio State and you're one of the DBs that left, you might be cornerback 3, but you go into Wisconsin, day one, you're cornerback 1. Yep. You're probably making 4 times what you would have made had you stayed at Ohio State. I don't know if you're going to have as good of a career. Who knows if you're going to be as high of a draft pick making that move? But that's just the reality of the situation. Is some of these teams in the portal are paying desperation wages, and Ohio State's never going to do that.
No, and you're not going to win.
No,
like you're going to lose a lot. Like when they're playing jump around in front of 42,000 people in November up there, and you're looking around going, the money's great, but this is what I signed up for.
Jump around, but they're going to leave right after that. That's what they do up there. It's guaranteed through the third quarter, full crowd, and then after that they start trickling out.
Get the hell out of there. The best example of what we're talking about, guys, is Jordan Seaton. He's the best example. He was a 5-star tackle out of high school. Colorado paid him, got him on campus. He was really good. Last year as a sophomore, he was a first-team All-Big 12 tackle on a team that didn't win much. They compensated him. Now he's in the portal. He's the top-rated unsigned guy in the portal. Somehow it's January 22nd. He's not enrolled in school somewhere, so I guess we just don't worry about eligibility on anything. I don't know what it was like when you went, JP,
I had to go to class.
I thought at some point you got to get to school. You got to go to class. You usually have a little 10-day grace period, but after that, like, you got to go. He hasn't done any of those things yet. But anyway, he's going to get compensated very richly by somebody, and he will be a plug-and-play starting left tackle.
Yes.
Like, that's fact. Like, that's happening. So the question is, would you rather have been Colorado? And this is the question that, like, Mark Pantoni, those guys have to answer. They don't have Colorado problems. Jordan Seaton wouldn't be in the portal if he was a Buckeye, because you would have compensated him all the way, and you'd certainly have the money to compensate him now, to your point of Jeremiah Smith and certainly Julian. But Colorado paid him, developed him, and now he's a free agent, and now someone's going to pay him bigly, and they're going to reap the benefits of a kid who's probably going to be the first tackle off the board in the NFL draft next year.
Yeah,
those are the decisions you have to make.
Yeah, I think if Colorado was a better football team, he probably would have been a little bit more patient with them. Right?
Maybe.
Like, it certainly feels like it. I mean, Prime did a lot to get him there. He said he wanted to play for a coach that looked like him, all these different things. And then all of a sudden you realize, like, oh, we start 3 different quarterbacks in 3 different weeks because our coach doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Like, I don't blame the kid for getting out of there. And by the way, he's going to get a big raise. Going to get a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yeah. I think it started at 2.5 was the report.
Which is insane. Man, I missed out on a lot of money, Bo. Somebody owes me a check.
Do you ever do that? You
all
can't
the time.
Do that, can you?
All the time. I sit there and think about it, man.
But what if? Like,
what if?
Dang it,
and I'm fine, guys. I'm fine. I do well. I'm A-okay. Yeah. I like my life. But, man, missed opportunities.
Dude, you want to do missed I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you 2 names, missed opportunities that would be that. I mean, there are others that are just massive missed opportunities. We'll get into that. Go over the favorites to win the national championship. Take a look at sports from last night as well. Some NFL awards going out. Get into all that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends. Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony. Big savings right now with my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Boy, it's the perfect time to upgrade your ride. You can lease a new Honda for as low as $199 a month, or definitely take advantage of rates as low as 0% financing on select models. Rich will even give you an additional $1,000 for your trade, even if you don't buy a Honda today. They have more than 400 new Hondas in stock, and the deals are the best around. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270, or online at germainhondaofdublin.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth, or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient, and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well,
Trying to find a needle in a haystack? Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Back in the day, if you wanted to listen to the fan, you turned on the radio, and that was the end of the story. But now, oh baby, stream us live on the Fan app, TuneIn app, iHeart app, we're everywhere. The Fan, Ohio's streaming destination.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad, and I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little you are, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step.
Bella, let's go.
Guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody, work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Joshua, here are and Bake's got a question for both of us. Here are my 3 biggest in the last 25 years. What if NIL guys that came through here? Maurice Claret.
Wow.
Troy Smith.
Okay.
Terrell Pryor. And Braxton Miller. Braxton Miller was a brand.
That's the one.
He was, all you guys would get like team issue cleats, and somehow he'd have black cleats with white laces.
Imagine.
He was.
Do you remember the Virginia Tech game, obviously, in 14? Do you remember Braxton pregame? So he's hurt, and he comes out wearing a custom suit. Like most of the guys that are hurt are in team-issued sweats, whatever. Like, he looked like he was dressed to be somewhere. And he had aura. He had swag.
Yep.
He was a video game. He's the best player, most electric player I've ever watched in person. Some of the things that he could do. And he was the pinnacle of being marketable at that time, just how cool he was, but also the plays that he made on the field, nobody else was making.
No. He's the one to me that I mean, he had those custom suits that whole year.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, he had like the Bob Kraft, like light blue and then white collar. Like he was, I don't know, it was unbelievable. So I always prided myself on making sure I had nice looking suits and all that stuff when I was on television all the time. I'd look at him and go, good Lord, where are you shopping?
Trying to keep up to his standard right now.
Man, he was bringing it. Go ahead, Big.
Bo, I knew you were going to say Terrell Pryor and Braxton Miller in there. I didn't know the other two is where you were going. Another one I'll throw in there is Zeke.
Yeah,
for sure.
Zeke would have been one that could have named his price just about. So Joshua said something towards the end of the last segment that really made me think about something and maybe a scenario Ohio State could face. And I think we've all kind of just figured it was Ohio State chose Chris Henry over Milan Graham and Quincy Porter. We just kind of figured they think Chris Henry Jr. is going to be better. And I don't know. I feel Ohio State kind of told us some stuff about Quincy Porter and Milan Graham this year when there was some decisions. And I know Quincy was banged up some, but there were some decisions that David Adolph was on the field over Milan Graham that might have told us something about what Ohio State kind of thought about those guys' future. But you mentioned maybe it's Jeremiah Smith, and he's just getting so much money that you can't pay those guys in the wide receiver room. Is there going to be a situation sometime where you have a player like Jeremiah that's just a star, but you have 3 or 4 other guys that are really good and close that you want to keep, where you have to make a decision to let somebody else outbid for Jeremiah and let him go? So you keep these guys to have depth and more of a team. And what is the fan base going to do if that happens? The fan base is going to lose their mind.
Have we had anything like that happen yet?
Where somebody just let a star walk, like they
where you had to make a decision on, we can pay these players or we can play this one. We can pay this one guy or we can pay a room.
Did Colorado have to do that with Seton?
I think Colorado might just be completely dysfunctional
and
might not
with
have any.
That.
Yeah, I mean that might be that. I tell you what, let me hop in the portal here real quick.
Yeah,
and see if any of those decisions have been made. So what? I guess that the what if you're asking for there is if it came down to you can have Jeremiah or you can have Quincy, Milan. I mean, pick
Chris Henry Jr.
Probably the one you would have done this with would have been like the Jackson Smith and Jigba year.
Sure.
Or the Marv year. Like, okay, you can pay Marv or you can pay all these guys behind Marv.
I mean, I think Ohio State got a little bit close with the Bo Jackson situation. Like running back might be the position where you feel decent about doing it because a lot of teams, I mean, we just saw Indiana, they basically go by committee. They had 3 guys that were getting significant carries. So maybe you talk yourself into that. I think programs would have a big issue just from a pride standpoint of letting a guy like Jeremiah walk, right? Like you just can't do that because of what it looks like optically. And especially if he were to go to a place like Miami, right? Team that just beat you. He's from that area. Like, can you ever entice a guy like that to come this way and know you produce and you're a star and we won't pay you, right? Like, I think that's where a program, probably to its own detriment, might get into that situation. Like, being honest about it, Jeremiah, can't let him go. I would hate to see him walk out of here. Also watched him have back-to-back 150-yard games, and it wasn't the key to winning, right? So, like, I think what you do with a guy like that could almost be at odds with what you do to build a roster that can take you all the way. But you can't let him go. Like, you just can't do it. So I'm not sure we see that situation.
So what you're just describing is essentially the Myles Garrett situation in Cleveland.
Yes.
That's what you just described.
100%.
Is this is a guy who demanded a trade. The Browns said, we can't lose him. He's a cornerstone. And even though they were in a transition year, maybe a transition year or two, we can't lose him. We have to keep him. And so they did. And it meant, what did Myles do? He had maybe the greatest year a defensive player's ever had. He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. He set the all-time sack record, all those things. But they won 2 more games. So that is a decision that NFL teams have to make all the time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the Dallas Cowboys, was it smarter to trade Micah Parsons and get the compensations back? Now, you can't trade in college football.
Well,
but you can reallocate money.
The Cowboys comp might be the best one because of how they've had to divvy up their cap, because you want to keep Dak and you got to pay wide receivers, and then you get to the point where it's time to address Micah Parsons, and you're kind of sitting there asking, like, can we continue to contribute that much of our cap to a few star players and build a competent roster? And maybe some of the top college football programs are going to get to that point where they're like, we have too many guys that are stars and we can't pay them all. Simply, we just can't do it.
It's already happening. I mean, that stuff's already happening. Like, obviously, Auburn can afford to pay Cam Coleman. Auburn's one of those teams down there that's got money. They could afford to do it. There was a coaching change and it allowed for it to happen. And I said this with Bo Jackson, too. I'm glad you brought that one up. I would never be bent over a barrel for a running back.
I don't know. I think the game's swinging back.
I do the NFL model on that all day long.
I think the game's swinging back. I have been saying this for probably 2 years now. Linebackers used to look like me. And for folks who haven't seen me, not what I currently look like. I'm a little bit overweight right now. But I played at 255 at Ohio State, 6'4", 255. Have you ever seen Bobby Carpenter? It's a big-ass dude, right? Yeah. This is what linebackers used to look like. And then it got to a point where they're like, oh, these guys got to run. Let's play linebackers that are 230 pounds. And so then teams just started running the ball again. Yeah. And the two teams we watched in the title game, they want to run the football. Like, I think the game's actually swinging back. I would pay the guy if I thought that he was a difference maker. We paid two of them last year. Now, last year's price ain't this year's price, right?
No.
So that's the difference there. But I think it's valuable to have those guys on the roster.
It is, but you just made the point with Indiana.
Yeah.
Give me three of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mark Fletcher was the star of the game, though.
Yeah.
He's on the losing side, but he was a star.
He was one of them. Yeah, those are decisions that you're going to have to make. Second hour of the program coming up next, a full and robust mailbag. We will get to that. Paul Finebaum coming up at 10:30. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on The Buckeye Show. New special guests in everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Hey, everybody, it's Berm. Jeremy Birmingham from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. Have you been following along? I'm down 30 pounds in just 5 weeks thanks to Awaken 180. The results are real, the results are fast, and the process is simple. Find your results at awaken180weightloss.com.
Your mornings are jam-packed. So if you're going to add anything, make it your favorite bite from Tim Hortons. Buy any size beverage and add a daily baked donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. It's the best way to add more to your morning. The 1-2-3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra. Exclusions and terms apply at timhortons.com/offer-terms.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Right now, save on new 2026 Tucson with 0.99% financing for up to 60 months. Columbus or Dublin or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit. Ends 2/2.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. For the people.com. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Hi, this is Mike with the Good Feet Store. Are your bad feet making work miserable? You're not alone. Here's Val, a real Good Feet Store customer.
I'm a salesman. I pounded the pavement 35 years, literally. My legs ached, my feet hurt. It was just sometimes unbearable. But if you don't have a good attitude when you're in sales, it shows on your face. I heard an advertisement on the radio for the Good Feet Store, and I said, what can I lose?
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Val get back to doing what they love without their feet getting in the way.
I walked in the Good Feet Store and I said, my feet hurt. What a difference with these arch supports. When I go and talk to my customers, I've got a smile on my face. I can go all day long, and then some. It's the real deal. My name's Val, and that's my Good Feet story.
Don't let bad feet stop you from achieving your 2026 health goals. Visit the Good Feet Store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
They say glory is earned, not given. We say it's ignited by heart and ends with a boom. Get your tickets today at BlueJackets.com.
It's a new year,
Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Payroll tax, pre-addition only, roughly 37% of filings qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. How this is tax.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
And to get TurboTax free edition, see if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
It's a new year, and Aleve is here to help you keep your New Year's resolutions on track. Whether it's a daily walk, hitting the gym, or spending more time with friends and family, Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you moving with long-lasting body pain relief so you can chase those dreams and achieve your goals. Don't let body pain slow you down. Keep going with Aleve, because this year is your year. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Steve here from USA Insulation. Let me ask you a question. Do you know why your thermos keeps your coffee hot? Because it's insulated with foam. So let us do the same thing and insulate your home with our premium foam for only $99 a month, interest-free. The cold weather's here. There's nothing better than sitting in a warm, comfortable home with your loved ones and keeping that cold, drafty air outside. So make the call today, 529-2440, 529-2440, or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Want big flavor and even bigger value? The new $9.99 value meal has arrived at Hothead Burritos. Get your choice of a customized, loaded little burrito or bowl with fresh chips and salsa plus a drink, all for just $9.99 today. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Ryan Baker. The Pro Football Writers of America named Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba and Browns defensive end Myles Garrett as their NFL Offensive and Defensive Players of the Year yesterday. JSN had 119 catches for 1,793 yards and 10 touchdowns. He helped the Seattle Seahawks get to the NFC Championship game this Sunday. He's the first former Buckeye to ever win the award. Garrett broke the single-season sack record this year with 23. Ohio State added punter Brady Young to its roster yesterday. Young, who's a native of Perrysburg, Ohio, attended Cincinnati for 4 years. Then he transferred to Houston Christian. Donovan Mitchell scored 24 to lead the Cleveland Cavaliers to a 94-87 win over the Charlotte Hornets. This one brought to you by BMI Federal Credit Union. BMI has been voted best credit union for the past 8 years in a row by CBUS Top Picks. Visit BMIFCU.org.
When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a Thursday. Paul Finebaum coming up in 27 minutes from now. Joshua Perry in with us today. Time to open up that mailbag. Hit it.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. Again.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
Indeed, we do. And we do have a new one. I mentioned it a couple of times. And you can actually go to the site now. And I believe, Bake, we have a click-through now where the new email is there, so we can actually see the emails that are gone.
I will need to go check and see that, but supposedly it is being linked to the show site. So.
Okay, so it's 971bfs@gmail is where to do it, and a bunch of them came in today. Let's start with our old buddy Robert Bird, who writes, I appreciate your show, you, Reese and Baker, and we appreciate you. Thanks, Robert. He writes, I heard Duke's response to Miami trying to take their quarterback, and I wondered if Miami's best defense might be a court case. While Duke does have a good law school and so perhaps can argue around this, a contract that limits where someone can work seems to be an employment contract. Yeah. With Washington's contract and other details, the consequences to violating the terms of the contract were financial. Washington refused to put their quarterback's name in the portal, but they couldn't enjoin him from playing elsewhere. Duke is claiming the right to control where Mensa plays, essentially control over his ability to work. The ability to control where someone can work seems core to the employment agreement and argues that Duke is employing their quarterback in contrast to the NCAA and probably Duke's insistence that their athletes are students and not employees. If Miami takes them to court, it seems like Duke would either have to argue to enforce an employment agreement which says that at least some athletes are in fact employees and thus grant them the rights of employees, a position that they have been loath to accept, or fold and admit that without an employment agreement, they can't restrict the ability of athletes to play elsewhere as long as they're willing to pay the financial costs of breaching the contract. Does this make sense, or is this misstating anything? I'm not in any way a lawyer. Thank you, Robert Bird. Well, it's pretty damn good, bud. It's why I've argued, Joshua, honestly, since you played, to just go the NFL model and call it what it is, pro football, have contracts and pay them, and then you have some sort of control over this. Everything he writes here is the crux of the issue.
That's why I want to see it in court, because I tend to lean that way. Like, to me, it's interesting. If I just don't know how you can limit where somebody goes if they're not an employee.
Exactly.
And it's hard, I think, in this world to divorce the NIL rights and how you license those from the fact that the only reason they have a notable name, image, and likeness is because they play a sport that people enjoy. So that would be the first thing. The second thing I'd like to see in court is if this isn't tied to the rev share, which you can just divvy up however you want, and this is about NIL licensing, and they're basically saying we're going to give you $4 million against your NIL, and we're just going to go sell against that and make it back. If I were Miami and they're asking for a buyout of sorts, I'd be like, show me support that this kid's actually worth $4 million in name, image, and likeness. Like, I'm curious how some of these numbers are even created on these contracts, and it's supposed to be the role of the CSC, College Sports Commission, that's not even up and running yet, right? So, like, that to me is something I'd like to see. And then the third thing that I'll say on this, and it just, again, this is a situation that to me has gone totally off the rails in terms of how we have name, image, and likeness, but it's not really employment, et cetera, is for the future of these kids. Like, I don't think that they should ever want to be employees, because they can thrive in this scenario of chaos and make so much more money than if the schools ever got control. And I'm curious, if it ever does move to that point, what type of resistance we would see from players.
It's a great point out of you. If you can get organized and have the resistance to it, because the reality of this is, as it stands right now, NIL is for name, image, and likeness, not employment. Nobody wants to have anything to do with employment in the NCAA at the moment. But here's the problem. You have to then treat Darian Mensah just like he's another student. And if any other student wanted to transfer to Miami, they could. You can't keep a kid from transferring. You can't. So they can have financial fines if they want, but eligibility-wise, I see no scenario where Duke can stop this. None.
Joshua, that's a great point about you. Like, as somebody who, for the longest time in my life, was an independent contractor, like, you can make out pretty good about that if you're smart with other things in your life and take care of things. That would be chaos, though, for these colleges, because then the players are running everything.
Well, I mean, they're kind of running it right now. The agents are certainly running the world right now. I say this every time we talk about employment. The thing that I love about being employed is that I get a check. The thing that scares me about being employed is that somebody can fire me. And I'm not sure that these kids want to ever face the reality that they could be fired from their job.
Nobody ever talks about that part. You're not. I mean, we used to do that, like in the SEC especially. Urban did a little bit here. Like, maybe you ought to go find somewhere else.
Process a kid.
Yeah. Here's one from Logan. The title is Love the Show. Love the show. I've been listening for 7 years every day. That's loyal. Thanks, man. I think Baker's the perfect addition, but Bad Take Bake was up and added again this week.
Wait a second.
This might be a good segment, Bad Take Bake. He writes, the other day he said, I don't trust Mario Cristobal. Like the man didn't just beat us for the second time.
I mean,
I don't know if that's a bad take.
I mean, that's fair, but I've also seen Mario Cristobal snatch defeat from the jaws of victory multiple times. I still don't understand how that Miami team that we saw lost to Louisville and SMU this year. And if Ryan Day has had trouble in his career, which he hasn't had a lot of trouble here at Ohio State, but if he's had trouble, the two coaches were Jim Harbaugh and Mario Cristobal, who play a punch-you-in-the-mouth style of football. So maybe Mario's just a bad matchup for Ryan.
I'll say this about not trusting Mario. They weren't even throwing penalty flags in the title game, and they were still penalized. You get a blocked punt when it's the defense is in punt safe and they're just rushing the defensive lineman. Like, I can understand the I don't trust Mario take. I don't think it's a bad take.
Do you think on that play that's everyone does that Australian style punting? I mean, he just ran into the rush.
Yeah, it was
I mean, they missed the block, but like
2 blocks were missed on that, which is unacceptable. But
he just kind of ran into the rush.
The punters hold the ball too long in certain situations. Like if I'm backed up that much, it's probably a one step and get it out of there type thing. I don't coach special teams. It's just my thoughts on it. So yeah, I mean, probably not the greatest execution, but also block a guy, right? Like just block a dude.
Joshua, you say that about the penalties, yet somehow they played a perfectly clean game in the Cotton Bowl.
Man, wow.
I did like the pace of that game. I did like the pace of it. This one from Chad. Dear BFS and CBD Cruise, this is Chad from Austria. Man, fantastic. Originally from Cleveland, temporarily Germany. I want to thank your programs and the role they played in my life during a very difficult season. Since May 2025, my daughter has been undergoing treatment for MLD, and your show has been a steady presence in my days and nights, just as they've been for a while under better times. I listened during long stroller walks while she slept, while folding endless loads of laundry, and late at night when it finally quiet and I was trying to fit a 9-to-5 job into what hours I had left. In those moments, your voices helped keep my mind from spiraling. Having something familiar, thoughtful, and human in the background gave me comfort, a sense of normalcy when so much felt uncertain. It helped me stay grounded when worried was always close at hand. Earlier this week, we learned that the treatment was successful and my daughter will be just fine. I've been thanking the hospital staff as well as the staff at the extended stay facility that has been our home since May, but I want to extend my sincere gratitude to everyone at Bishop and Friends and Cleveland Browns Daily as well. I don't know if you ever hear how much your work matters to people who are quietly getting through hard times, but I wanted you to know that it mattered deeply to me. Thank you for what you do, for unknowingly keeping me company when I needed it most. Thanks, guys. Best regards, Chad. Chad, that's part of why you do it, man, is for folks like you. And I can't tell you what this means to me and what it means to us that we were that beacon or played some role in being a beacon for you guys. God bless your daughter. God bless your family. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for taking the time to write that. It moves me greatly. And that's awesome. That's really, really an awesome email. Thank you so much on that. Go ahead, Vic.
Thank you, Chad, for listening, one. And first and foremost, so glad that your daughter is okay. If you ever make it stateside into Ohio, get a hold of us, because I personally would love to meet you. That's an awesome story. Thank you for listening. And also, Bo, for years, I heard Man and Bone talk about they were the #1 radio show in Greenland. I feel like this is new imaging for us. The #1 Columbus, Ohio radio show in Austria.
I'd love to go visit, and thank you for taking the time for that. We've got some other ones, including I'm going to tell a great John Diebler story. We will get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Winters can be brutal here in the Columbus area, and if you're cold in your home with the heat running constantly, it's probably your old, inefficient windows that are the problem. The good news is that Window Nation can help you get through this season because in the last 20 years, they've installed over 3 million energy-efficient windows nationally, and they're trusted by thousands of Columbus homeowners to keep their homes comfy and cozy year-round, while also saving them money on monthly utility bills. And right now, they're more affordable during the Window Nation Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale. It's a great time to replace all the windows in your home. Plus, you could get your windows with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. You'll be surprised by the dramatic difference new windows will make. Your home will be better protected against the weather, feel warm and dry, and you'll love the lower utility bills. The pros at Window Nation will guide you every step of the way. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Save big with Window Nation Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 sale going on now. The sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com right now. Window Nation, a proud partner of Ohio State Athletics.
Matty Ice here with the Columbus Men's Clinic. Guys, you've got one life, and it's too short for not nows, maybe laters, and tomorrows. If you're noticing issues with low T or ED, then your relationships, your confidence, and even your career has already been affected. So, guys, no more excuses. Columbus Men's Clinic has a medical provider focused solely on ED and low T the right way. Since 2014, they've been helping men get safe, effective treatment for over a decade. So call them at 614-300-7400 right now or book online in under 30 seconds at columbusmensclinic.com. Did you know there's treatments that can help you maintain what you've got? Yeah, that's right, fellas. Just like going to the gym to maintain muscle, there are ways to keep ED and low T at bay without a pill. So it's time to show up for yourself, for your family, and a lot more by going to the Columbus Men's Clinic. Call them at 614-300-7400 or book them online at columbusmensclinic.com. Columbus Men's Clinic, for every man in every season of life.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We will see partly sunny skies today with temperatures right around that freezing mark and gusty winds, so there will be a wind chill in place. And then for tonight, mostly cloudy overnight with our lows in the teens. For Friday, partly sunny with temperatures falling throughout the day. We will only get into the teens for highs with the feels like eventually getting below zero again with gusty winds continuing. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvus weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan. With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Joshua Perry in for Reese. Paul Finebaum coming up in 12 minutes from now. Back to the mailbag we go. This one from Brady, who writes, "What's up? I was hoping I would hear your John Diebler speech that you give your boys' basketball teams. I'm a man. I'm 40. I have a third grader playing basketball. They all think they'll play in the NBA. Your speech was something like John Diebler, all-time Ohio scorer, Morse threes. I can't remember the speech. Would love to hear it. Bake, you remember this one? You've heard me tell this speech before that I give?
I believe, yes, that's correct. I've heard this one.
All right, Joshua, when the kids get big enough, this is one I give if they get into the basketball, and you're going to coach it because you will, because you're going to love it. So I do this. I give this speech to the parents as well as the kids. So I usually have like a team meeting, parents and kids, and I assemble them and I say, "Have you heard of John Diebler?" And inevitably, there's a couple of parents who have, and I hate that John catches strays in this because I love him. But nevertheless, a couple of the parents have. None of the kids typically have. They haven't heard of him. And so I'll say, okay, well, John Diebler was the all-time leading scorer in the history of the state of Ohio. He scored 77 points in an Ohio high school basketball game. He then went to Ohio State. He started as a freshman, hit more threes than anybody in the history of the Big Ten Conference, was a starter on the number one team in the country, and hit more threes than anybody in the history of the Big Ten Conference. He never played a minute in the NBA. And oh, by the way, he's 6'8". So if you think little Timmy is going to play in the league, that's how hard it is. And it's always an eye-opener for the kids. Now, I'm quick to point out, John had an incredible career overseas, made a lot of money. He's on Thad's staff at Butler. He's doing great, lovely family, all of it. But it's a little bit of a attention getter. Mostly I do it for the parents because the kids can't, especially like third graders, they have a hard time comprehending any of that. Like that's in one ear, out the other. But it's for the parents to understand that at this age, I can assure you, in very rare instances, you're not special enough to do all of that. So don't hold your kid to that standard or think that that's out there. Do the right things and it'll all come, but that's how difficult it is in that sport.
I went and helped out a friend whose kid was playing in like a fourth grade football game. Mm-hmm. And the team that they were playing against, the coach had iPads down on the field.
Yep.
And he was screaming like a maniac. And there came a point where I looked at the guy and I said, they're kids. Simmer down.
Yep.
And it's
for you.
To me, one of the craziest things in the world. Like, I'm one of the people who beat the odds, was a good athlete growing up, but never did my parents ever look at me as a kid and be like, oh man, like you could be a pro one day. And like they didn't approach it when I was playing youth sports that way. Like I was running around getting recreation in with my friends, and that's what it needs to be.
I'll be very curious how it is with your children when they become of age to do it. Did you have, you're obviously quite a bit younger than us. Did you have was like AAU and like travel, was any of that stuff? Or, like the football equivalent, was the 7-on-7 circuit, was any of that going when you were a kid?
No, I played travel hoops and I ran summer track, and so there was like a travel circuit for that, but not for football. It was just the local youth league in town.
So you played AAU hoops?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember, like, were you aware at all of the money around all of that?
I was not.
You're just a kid, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of bad operators.
Oh, yeah.
This has made me think of two things. One, Bo, you know that I've been watching America's Team on Netflix about the Cowboys. And all Barry Switzer was as a coach, it seems like, according to that, was a hype man. That's all he did was like try to keep it positive for the kids and keep for the team and keep them hyped up. And like it made Troy Aikman so mad, but so many of those guys now love Barry Switzer, and all he did was hype him up. Like, it's crazy how much people put into this, especially at the youth level. And then the second thing this story made me think of is how pissed off I am still at Ohio and their nepotism laws that John Diebler can't be a coach on Jake's staff. What the hell?
That part's crazy, too. Yeah, we'd love to have him over here. All right, this one from Maheim. Bo, just finished another rewatch of Friday Night Lights. Now, Bake has not seen Friday Night Lights. Joshua, did you watch Friday Night Lights with the lovely Maddie?
Sure did not.
You should. It'd be a great family. You'd love it. You're certainly aware of the concept.
Yes.
I know you've mentioned your Mount Rushmore of characters a few times. I'd like to add a few auxiliary characters who, in my opinion, help make the show so wonderful. Grandma Saracen, Smash's mom, who were always on point when they were in a scene. While season 2 is most ridiculed due to, I don't want to wreck this for people who haven't seen it because, oddly enough, not a lot of people have. Some very important things, including not limited to the Tammy Taylor-Tyra relationship, among others. If in your Mount Rushmore you put Coach and Tammy as one, totally agree, they were one, even in moments of dissent with that. Julie may be the absolute worst character on the show. Her season 2 arc helps to show how terrible a character she was, starting by dating Swede and then assuming Matt would just sit around and wait, then getting ticked off when she went back to Matt and he told her off. Bonus 4, because I see you do it on Twitter after Buckeye games. The Mike Leach cameo in season 4 is on a short list of great cameos in TV movies that make me miss Mike Leach more and more I watch the show. Let me end with this off of the proper way. Clear eyes, full hearts. sports can't lose. Great points. Mike Leach and Mac Brown both have cameos in Friday Night Lights, and both are perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I think it's the best. I think it's the best representation of small town Americana that's ever been captured. Like, so if The Wire is the best example of urban Americana captured, which I think it is, then I think Friday Night Lights is the best small town Americana piece we've ever seen. And it's instantly identifiable if you are somebody who played high school football or went to high school football games. And it mattered. If you went to a place that it mattered, if your school, if it mattered, it's going to resonate with you. And it's set in West Texas. I mean, the book's set in Odessa Permian, which is an incredible book. The movie's great, too. The places that Buzz Bissinger looked at to write that book, the settings, were Odessa Permian, Valdosta, Georgia, and Massillon, Ohio. Those are the three spots that he looked to write that book. And he landed on Odessa, and if you've read the book, it's the perfect landing spot for all of it. It's, as you're reading the book, it's almost impossible to believe that all of that happened.
After reading the book, I always wonder, or I think about, like, how different it would be if it would have been Massillon, Ohio. You know, how different that story, how different the book would have been. There would have been a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences, too.
Who was at Massillon at that time?
Was that
Spiels?
Spiels, yeah.
Spiels was at Massillon.
Somebody in the YouTube chat, by the way, was just talking about Spielman slapping a hot dog out of Barry Switzer's hand at the Pro Bowl. I don't know this story.
I feel like I'm going to text Chris and see if it's true, see if I can verify it. No, but you could have absolutely done that story in Massillon, Ohio.
For sure.
Easy could have worked there. Joshua, you watch any shows with Manny?
Yeah, we're reality TV people. I'm a Bravo sicko, I think.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Well, you know, reality TV and sports are analogs of one another, so I feel like I'm in my zone there. We watched His and Hers on Netflix, and then All Her Fault on Peacock, which I had to take a break from. You haven't seen it. The storyline is a kid is abducted from daycare or whatever, and just everything ensues after that. And it felt a little bit too close to home having young children. So I was like, I had to pause for a few days. But those are probably like the last two scripted TV things that we've watched together.
All right, start Friday Night Lights.
All right.
Ignore the improbability of the very first episode and just Americana. It's got it all in there.
Fair enough.
The same thing that you just had with the little kids I had with Euphoria. I watched one episode of it. Somebody said it was great, and I'm like, I got a 14-year-old now. I can't see this stuff, man.
It's probably not for you.
That ain't for me, man. I can't live in that world. That can't be what high school is. Last one, this one from William. Hey, guys, what do you think of the Landman finale? P.S. I haven't watched it yet. William, I haven't either. I've given my thoughts on Landman. I think that Taylor Sheridan, who's the creator of that universe and Yellowstone and all the rest of it, I think he's a really good dialogue writer, and I think he writes great scenes, but I think that the storylines are borderline incoherent. So I'll watch the Landman finale probably tonight late if I have time. That's probably where I'm kind of eyeing it. But I think the overarching storylines are borderline incoherent. That happened with Yellowstone, too.
I will say this. The Landman shorts or little social media videos that you see, they make you want to watch the show, especially if you're a male. You want to watch the show.
Yeah, and if you're Billy Bob Thornton, so basically Billy Bob Thornton's character is just omniscient. He says he answers to everything. So they threw a curveball on that in the second to last episode, so we'll see how they land the plane in the finale. Paul Finebaum has had to eat a lot of crow this week. He's going to have to do it with us in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
This is 100% employee-owned now. It gives them a sense of pride.
It's always been a family business. We've benefited as owners from the work of all of these great employees for so long. Well, now everybody's an owner, so now everybody has a stake. It really is the culmination of the family business. The family just got bigger. We all know there's a difference between working for a paycheck and working for something that belongs to you.
Rosati Windows, locally made, expertly crafted.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
After my accident, people warned me to slow down. I said, I don't know how. Thanks to my VA care team, I haven't.
At VA, we're using technology to help veterans recover faster and live their lives to the fullest. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov/PSA.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Finebaum.
And he joins on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Bo Bishop, Joshua Perry in with me today. Buddy, thanks for the time. Listen, I had to eat like a little aperitif of crow because I'd ever bought into any of this Indiana stuff and been very critical of Snetti. I have absolutely nothing I ever want to do in Indiana, ever. So I've had to deal with that. You got a full plate. You might have a buffet. As you're watching that thing on Monday, and that's the way that it went, and they finish off a 16-0 and that run through it, how do you reconcile what just happened on Monday night?
Well, I think it was easy to be wrong, Bo, and I don't think for all the criticism of you and me and many others, it was just hard to grasp the story. And yes, are we elitists because you're around Ohio State, arguably the best or second best program in modern history, and I'm around Alabama and Georgia's programs like that? Yeah, we are. But so it's always difficult to accept. Watching it, I was believing, but still wondering. And even on Monday night, I was glad to see them do it. I don't quite understand because maybe I've never been to Mecca. Maybe the two of us can go on a tour and we'll understand. But I've never met more Indiana graduates in the media in my life, and they all sing from the same hymnal, and I'm happy for them. Yeah. And I get it, and that's what I said it. I think sometimes in our business, there's a time to accept that you were not only wrong, but dead wrong, and that's what I did.
Yeah, I did the same thing, buddy. Is this duplicable, or is this a one-off? Both. So I guess the duplicable, it's kind of a two-parter. Is he maintaining this at Indiana is the first part, and then the second part is probably, is the Indiana approach to this something that can be done somewhere else?
Well, I think the second part of that, it's going to be tried. There's every Oklahoma State and Auburn and Purdue and Illinois and Oregon State are looking at this and going, well, why can't we do it? But I do think this is a one-off in terms of a special circumstance. I said a couple of months ago in a comment that came back to haunt me that I wondered when they gave him the contract, because I've seen this before. By the way, I saw this firsthand at Auburn 15 years ago when the school gave Gene Chizik a lifetime contract and they fired him 4 years later. These things usually happen. I don't know. I think Cignetti is a different type of coach. But do I think long-term that a school like Indiana can battle the Oregons and the Michigans and the Ohio States and succeed like this? I think we both know the answer to that.
So everybody kind of talks about this shifting of power in college football. And I think the other side of the national championship is interesting with that, where Miami makes an appearance. It's the first time we see them on that stage in a couple of decades. The narrative kind of flipped on Mario Cristobal, but Miami in the big picture, maybe in the ACC picture, like, does it mean anything that they were able to make a run to the national title?
Well, it's interesting because they didn't even make it to their own championship game. So I don't know if that really says that much for the league. I think it says a lot for Miami. Mario Cristobal has been doing this for a couple of years, and he always has he has gotten in his own way. This time he didn't. He caught a break, and the break really was beating Notre Dame on day one and letting a flawed and really incompetent committee finally come to that realization. I don't think it says much about the ACC. They lost 2 games in the ACC this year, so I think it's a good league. It's not elite, but I think it's more about Miami.
And the idea, by the way, for the folks out there listening, that Miami gets that full share because Florida State and Clemson were like, we're going to pay the teams that succeed, and so they get the full share of that money. That'll help them a lot. Paul, Nick Saban, there's a documentary coming out on Nick, and he's omnipresent all over game day, all this stuff. He's everywhere in Tuscaloosa. I see him all over the place. And I heard his comments on McAfee when he talked about the North and the shift to power. When Nick Saban says that, how does that resonate in a conference that up until the last 3 years dominated the sport?
I think what you heard from him was an arrogance that a lot of people down here have, and maybe he's coming around pretty late. I have to say, I know I'm getting criticism, but for him to say nobody would go north without being paid, I think is really a ludicrous comment. I mean. Did he forget the 2014 Ohio State game? I mean, come on. That's not reality. Ohio State's never had a problem in this regard. Michigan has, but overcame it. Others have and are being helped. But yeah, Saban's a one-off. I do think Saban is really behind the. I mean, this is going to sound ridiculous, but he's a little bit behind the curve in where college football is. I don't even think he saw the Cignetti thing. I think I remember seeing him pick Miami on Monday night. At least the two of us had enough intelligence to pick Indiana.
Yeah, we did, yes. I wanted to ask you about this postseason that we have in college football, and there's a deadline for tomorrow about any changes. Doesn't seem like anything's going to happen. I think through a couple of rounds of the 12-team playoff, the results have been pretty good. I think there's still a lot of issues with structure personally. If there were changes that you could make, you could snap your fingers and make a change, what would they be?
That's right. It's a flawed system because of the first round. I mean, I've covered the first round like you guys have the last 2 years being on campuses, and there's just something wrong about it. It's awkward, and I really do think 16 is a better way, and then do away with these inane conference championship games, which not only are a waste of the audience's time, they're a waste of the players' bodies. To get players hurt in that game when neither the SEC game or the Big Ten game really had any significance other than one or two difference in seeding was, to me, ridiculous. I mean, the conferences have to tweak their own championship games, and I know they will, but I just don't understand at the greatest moment in modern Big Ten history why the commissioner of the Big Ten is still so far removed from reality.
Well, that's where I'm going next, because I see this Dellinger. You and I did this. We did this exact hit last year at this time, and at that time, it felt like Sankey and Petitti were pretty well aligned, and they're the two most powerful voices. I'm reading this Dellinger piece that he wrote this morning, and it feels like they've never been further apart. And while the Big Ten is living in this incredible moment right now with 3 straight national champions, the SEC's in a spot they haven't been in a long time, haven't even had a championship game participant the last 3 years. I'm looking at Petitti and I'm going 2014. Like, I know why he's doing it, Paul. He's looking for found money. I understand that. But I think that the way he's going about it is surprising to me, and I don't know that he represents the whole league, and he certainly, I don't think, represents Ohio State's thoughts on all of this. Where is that relationship? You were down there Monday. What are you hearing from the power brokers?
Well, I mean, Sankey talks a good game. He said they talk all the time. But right now, Sankey, I think, doesn't want to let on that he can't reason with Petitti. I mean, if you're going to be partners, and that's how I saw this, 2 or 3 years ago when it came out, you have to find common ground. And Petitti isn't just at odds with Sankey. He's at odds with everyone. Yes. I mean, we should have a 16-team playoff next year. And by the way, if you want to give him something at the back end, that's fine. But Petitti clearly has not read Donald Trump's Art of the Deal. When you have the advantage, you take advantage of that moment. And right now, the Big Ten has a moment in time where the SEC would probably be willing to look like a good guy, and instead, Sankey looks like a good guy, and Petitti is an outlier, and that is just purely bad. And I think it shows that the Big Ten, once again, has gotten a major league professional guy in there, a TV guy who absolutely knows nothing about college football.
Paul, you had an interesting comment about NIL in this day and age and how some of the schools in the South maybe can't keep up because they don't have the boosters or, they don't have the fan bases, et cetera. Have you heard any ways that they're trying to combat this growing gap in NIL and the way that they're able to spend?
Well, I don't think they can unless they open the door to private equity, and that is certainly taboo down here as well. I mean, it is a reckoning, and I know I get criticized for never telling the truth, but I think I've been pretty honest with you, Bo. Nobody just wants to listen. This league has been in quicksand for a while, and I think right now the truth is you have Texas and Texas A&M and maybe LSU, but Alabama's falling behind. I had a caller yesterday go, these guys from Alabama are going to Ohio State. I said, because right now it's a better fundamental school to play for. But that's the problem. We are, and I'm a prisoner of it as well. That it's hard to accept when things are coming undone. But there are not as many billionaires down here. There are some. It's not like the South is drive through Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville. You're going to see a lot of tall buildings. But they don't have the conglomeration and they don't have the buy-in because a lot of folks down here never thought they would really have to do what they're now going to have to do.
You nailed it there, as you always do, buddy. Thanks for your time as always. We'll talk again next week.
You bet. Thanks, Bo.
And I've talked to Paul about this a lot, Joshua. And we talked about this earlier this week. I don't know if Alabama ever gets back.
Yeah.
Their fundamental financial issues, like Kalen DeBoer a year from now might be going, good Lord, I wish we did not beat Oklahoma and I took that Michigan job.
He should have just ignored all that and pulled a Lane Kiffin, if we're being honest. Maybe should have. Because people don't realize this up here because Alabama has the history. Auburn probably has more money. Yeah. Yes.
People don't realize that, but they probably do. Bama's in they're not Ole Miss or they're not Mississippi State, but they don't have Texas, LSU. They don't have Raising Cane's money. They don't have Tennessee money.
They don't have Arkansas money.
They don't. No, they're going to have to Netflix it. Everyone in the state's going to have to give $50 a month for the rest of their lives. I mean, that's what it's going to be. But that's a reality of where that is. I think that's in a really tough spot. We'll hit Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
This is the Daily Show with Coach Jake Diebler, brought to you by Encova Insurance. Read earlier this week about John Mobley, 5 a.m. workouts, getting in the gym, working on his game. Jake, as a former player, but as a coach, you got to love the fact that guys want to do things on their own, especially in the early morning hours.
Yeah, I love it. He's got a great routine going right now. He's got some, his family being here, I think is awesome, and a really great circle around him. So he's in his zone, as far as routine and what he's doing on a daily basis goes, and I think he just got to stay the course.
Okay, we'll have another comment in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the court. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. Basketball is full of challenging shots, and life can be too. With Encova, you don't have to do it alone. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Jake, and asking you about guys working out, it brings to mind asking about the practice facility you have. And obviously, there's some pluses when you can't get on the main arena floor to be able to have that. But does it just allow you to do a lot of things at a lot of times?
Well, I think, having 24/7 access to a gym is important for our guys. And listen, we'd love to be on our arena floor more, especially as we prepare for the season. And, we have one of the most active facilities in the conference, multi-purpose facilities. So there's a lot of great things that happen in the shop, but having that space, that practice gym, the resources we have here is certainly great for our players and their development.
Okay, this is the Ohio State Sports Network for Learfield.
Around here, it's all-wheel drive all year round, and Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anyone, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through February 2nd, get 4.99 APR financing on any new 26 Highlander or Grand Highlander, including hybrid models, with approved credit through TFS. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, 2 years no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us. And we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Time for a little thing or not a thing on a Thursday. Hit it, Bake.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
We heard Indiana coach Curt Cignetti talk a lot about celebrating with a nice beer or two. They're going to celebrate their national championship this Saturday at 1. On Tuesday, Bloomington-based Upland Brewing announced free beer for life for the Hoosiers head coach. They said Coach Cignetti and his staff have ignited IU football and brought so much joy and energy to Bloomington and the state of Indiana. We are excited to continue providing beer for the Hoosiers as they celebrate the national championship, and we'll be sending plenty of Hoosier Game Day lager their way. They added the brewery has already been supplying the second-year head coach with post-game beverages throughout the season. After taking home the school's first-ever national football title, though, they have decided that he should have access to Hoosier lagers whenever he wants. Indiana University and Upland Brewing have been working together for the last few years with a portion of the Hoosier Game Day lager sales going towards student scholarships through IU licensing and trademarks. Thing or not a thing?
It's a cool thing. You got to, at some point, I got to just embrace that this is where we're at and that, we're past that now. I've acknowledged this for a while now, but Indiana's real, Cignetti's real. They're not going to go anywhere. They're co-favorite to win the national title, and this is what you get when you're king of the mountain. You get to have free beer for life and such. What is your, if you guys have a celebratory drink, cocktail, anything, what is it?
Man, that's a good question. I guess this is a little bit of a problem. My tastes are a little bit too broad in terms of libations that I enjoy. Maybe like a Stag Junior would be a good one,
baby.
just to sip and celebrate.
Wow.
That's a nice sip. That's a nice sip and celebrate. You get that rock in there. Let that thing mellow a little
That's
bit
right.
for you, buddy.
That's right.
That sucker comes in ultra hot.
I think it just kind of depends in my mood. Sometimes there was a time in my life where it probably would have been a nice beer. I think now I've kind of changed more towards the bourbon side. You know, I love the Eagle Rare, and Dad picked up quite a bit of that for me when he was down in Atlanta. So I'll do that. I did
good dad.
the PX Double Oaked that we were a part of for High Bank. I did that when I celebrated something just recently. I can't even remember what it was. But I did that. Or maybe I'll be in a tequila mood, and I'd like to get a nice tequila to sip on. So
I'll tell you what, after like a full day on a Saturday or Sunday coaching youth basketball, especially this time of year when it's cold, a yellow jacket into the hot tub, that's the setup. I go straight. I just need to unwind a little bit. So we just crack a nice cold yellow jacket, drop right into the hot tub and chill out a little bit after a full day of coaching 10 and 12-year-olds.
Man, you said celebratory drink in a hot tub. You just scratched me where I itch.
It's pretty undefeated. Hot tub in the snow is tough to beat. It's pretty tough to beat.
Let me say this real quick. Kurt Signetti, $4.2 million in incentives this year, and the man doesn't have to buy a damn thing in Bloomington. And this is why rich people are rich. I just wanted to get that out there. It's insane. It's insane. He's got all the money in the world and will never have to buy anything.
There's a great line in the Christmas romantic comedy Love Actually where the kind of aging rock singer, he's on like a TRL show, like a video show, and he says, here's a lesson from your Uncle Bill. Don't buy drugs. Become a pop star, and then they give them to you for free. So you're right. The more you have, the more you are given.
Oh, man.
Michael Irvin says you can't prove that. Speaking of Coach,
did you see him sideline? By the way,
I did.
Joshua?
I've got photos. I'll send them to you.
Was he ever not? Was he ever chill, or was he always like Tony Montana?
No, he was chill when I first went up to him and I introduced myself, and he was very cordial. And then I started ribbing at him a little bit, and the laugh gets me every time. He started cracking up. It was awesome.
Yeah, he's so great. He's one of those people, and Dion's like this. The only other one that's like this, that like when you interview him or you have interaction with him, it's everything you'd want it to be, is Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders, and Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
All of those guys are just electric factories when you talk to them.
Speaking of Coach Signetti, I saw Brandon Marcello of 24/7 Sports tweet this out earlier this morning. Chipotle has introduced a new menu item online, the Coach Signetti I Win Bowl. It includes brown rice, chicken, black beans, and a side of guac. This comes on the heels of a recent story that the Indiana coach eats the same Chipotle meal for lunch every day. Thing or not a thing.
What did you just say was his order?
It is
sounds so plain.
Brown rice, chicken, black beans, and a side of guac. And it's a bowl.
Okay. Now I hate him again.
This is a kid's plate.
That's what Bootsy orders.
Yes.
The only difference is Bootsy puts cheese on it as opposed to the guac, but that's the Bootsy order.
It's a kid's plate. It's all the same color except for the guac.
That's wild.
But here's the thing that they study these types of people, high achievers like Signetti. They don't want to think about anything except for what they want to think about. So of course he picks the most plain thing to eat every single day.
There's a guy I know, he's since passed, a guy named Dwayne Hagedon, who developed Lake Coeur d'Alene Resort, and knew him. Ultra successful dude, and knew him past a few years ago. Didn't know him, but knew him a little bit. Not like we're buddies or anything. He's quite a bit older, obviously, but knew him. And he wore the exact, to your point, he wore the exact same outfit every day. Mm-hmm. And they gave a tour of his house one time, and in the house was just an entire closet of white polos with Lake Coeur d'Alene Resort logos, and then an entire below it was an entire closet of navy blue khaki shorts and then navy blue khaki pants, and that was it.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
To your point, had no interest in thinking about any of it. Just this is the uniform.
And Josh, to your point, most uber successful people They have that set up. Like, they eat the same thing every day at the same time. They wear the same thing every day. They don't want to have any nonsense.
No decision fatigue.
Yes, correct.
Optimize your life.
We talked a little bit about this yesterday, Bo, but here is Mick Cronin in his rant following the UCLA Bruins upset win. That's right, they won. They beat number 4 Purdue.
And I want to thank the Big Ten for giving us 5 of our first 7 on the road, bringing Purdue here on Thursday night, where we don't get back in LA till Saturday night, and giving us the team pick to win the league on a 2 days rest after 5 of our first 7 on the road. I want to thank the Big Ten for that.
Thing or not a thing.
So tired of him.
Same.
So exhausted. Like, it's in the brochure, dude. The Big Ten bailed you out. They bailed out your athletic department, and the only reason you're in it is because at the time that they added USC needed some dance partner and asked the Big Ten to take UCLA. The Big Ten didn't need UCLA. Like, if I give you scraps, don't complain about the taste.
It's a good line. It's funny, too, because he's like, oh, we got back on a Saturday. They got there on a Friday. That was a choice. Yes. You flew the day after a game knowing that you were going to have to fly back cross country. They tried to do you a favor in terms of your schedule at the beginning of the month, knowing that classes were going to start, and then you play Ohio State and Penn State on the same trip, and they give you the rest that you desire, right? They give you the rest that you're always complaining about. And then even after that trip, you decide, oh, we'll stay overnight, and then we'll fly back the next day, and then I'll complain about that. That was on you, brother.
Did anybody at UCLA look at a map?
Well, the Big Ten has the Maps commercial, as a matter of fact, so I'm sure they've seen it.
They should see it. I mean, it's omnipresent. My kids still love that, by the way.
Should have talked to your men's volleyball coach. He could have told you about this.
He could have tell you how this was going to go. Final hour on a Thursday up next. Do some NFL heavy in this one. We will attempt to beat the house with the 2 championship games. NFL coaching carousel continues to heat up as well. We'll get into all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Do you hate holiday pictures because of your teeth? What if a brand new smile was possible?
No matter what the current state of your mouth.
Welcome to Runyon Dental Group, home of the Implant and Smile Center, where gorgeous, healthy smiles become a reality.
At Runyon, we've built a team of some of the most highly trained arch and implant doctors in the entire nation. This isn't an ordinary dental practice.
We believe that everyone can have a great smile.
Including you, especially you. Your new smile is waiting at Runyon Dental Group.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Everybody, it's Berm here. Jeremy Birmingham from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan, and I have the least exciting update I can give you. Awaken 180 is still working. That is actually fairly inconvenient because I don't have anything dramatic to complain about. I'm 5 weeks in, I'm down over 30 pounds, and there hasn't been a single plot twist. There hasn't been a stall. There's no mystery week where everything stops making sense. I simply follow the plan, I eat what I'm supposed to eat, and the scale does what it's designed to do too. Weight loss usually feels like a guessing game where you're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. But Awaken 180 doesn't. There's structure, there's coaching, and there's zero need for motivational speeches in the mirror. I'm not negotiating with myself. I'm not starting over every Monday. I'm moving forward, enjoying the ride, feeling a whole lot better, and watching years of bad habits quietly get undone. Do what we all did and make your own 180 with Awaken 180. Go online at awaken180weightloss.com, 844-346-1800. Awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years. I would try drugstore insoles and supports.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, we know the search for pain relief can feel like a hopeless ordeal.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections. I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
At the Good Feet store, we hear stories every day of all kinds of cheap inserts, expensive shoes, and other failed remedies people have tried that just didn't work.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked. And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I'm so glad I met Good Feet. It changed my life.
Don't lose hope. Give the Good Feet store a try. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Ryan Baker. The Columbus Blue Jackets back on home ice tonight, taking on the Dallas Stars at 7. The club announced this morning that forward Mason Marchment has been activated off injured reserve. He's expected to skate on the top line this evening. To make room on the roster, the team has placed defenseman Denton Matejchuk on IR with an upper body injury. Pre-game coverage tonight here on The Fan gets underway at 6:30. The 12th-ranked Ohio State women's basketball team hosting Indiana tonight over at The Shot. You can hear it on The Fan, too, beginning at 7:45. The tip is at 8. After catching 119 passes for 1,793 yards and 10 touchdowns, former Buckeye Jackson Smith-Njigba was named the Pro Football Writers of America's Offensive Player of the Year. This one's sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Need help recovering from the holidays? Get a holiday loan from BMI at bmifcu.org/holiday loan.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, I saw this going around, and then Joshua shared it with me. Joshua Perry, by the way, in for Reese. And I thought it was fake. But if you go to Google,
I saw this,
and you type in Kurt Signetti, at the top of the page when the search goes through, it says, "Yep, he won."
Good job out of Google.
It's a pretty good job out of them. Bo, the sigh. What was the sigh?
Because, dude,
he hates him. Bo hates him.
Why? He's the greatest coach that's ever lived.
God. There is absolutely nothing I like about Indiana except for the Hoosiers gym and every once a year St. Elmo's at the Combine.
St. Elmo's.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win.
Oh,
I'll say this about St. Elmo's. Overrated, personally.
I think it's fair. I think you're getting an experience. I don't think the steak's overrated. I think that the shrimp cocktail is.
I think the steak is.
It's a giant shrimp with ultra hot horseradish is what it kind of comes down to. Is what it is. So you had a bad steak experience there?
I don't think it's one of the better steaks that I've had. Like I go there every time I'm in Indy because it's, again, the experience and the whole deal. Like I'm here for all of that. But if I'm grading the food, I would say it's probably like a B-. I think the cocktails do their job, but there are a couple other steakhouses in Indy that I prefer over St. Elmo's. Prime 47 is actually my spot there.
That's a good one. Yeah, that is an definitely. I'll be honest with you that if I go to a white tablecloth steak joint, like most of the time, and I'm in the mood for steak, which I don't do much anymore. I actually prefer how I make steak.
That's fair.
Just stuff that I do that I like, that I'm used to, that I like. So I don't go down that road very often. But if I do, it'll be a ribeye. And quite honestly, like if it's St. Elmo's or if it's one of the great joints here in town or one of the other like a Mastro's or whatever, it's not much different place to place. To me, they all seem pretty similar in preparation, largely similar in now. If you go down like the Wagyu, then that's a very different taste profile,
right?
But in terms of just like a grass-fed ribeye, they all kind of taste pretty similar to me.
Yeah,
the white tablecloths.
I'm kind of there with you.
So I think you're probably right on your St. Elmo's take.
Yeah.
I think that's probably right.
I mean, if it comes off of like if they grill it in the restaurant, it's like got actual grill marks on it, I probably don't like it as much as if they just like throw it under a broiler.
Okay.
So that would be a difference for me. Sides and cocktails typically do it. Like I have become a huge fan of Mastro's, and I used to eat there in Chicago. Now they got the one at Easton, phenomenal. And they bring out this big ass plate of French fries. It's great. You order a martini. It's a 5-ounce martini, so they leave the shaker on the table, which is awesome. And then they've got the butter cake for dessert, which is my favorite thing to eat. So that to me has been the separator in a lot of spots. I agree with you. The steak largely is the same.
Yeah. All right, so we had the last the email about we talked about celebratory drinks, and then in the break, Reese sends me a picture of an airport beer. So I was thirsty, and now you guys are making me hungry with all of this steak talk. Like I don't know what I'm going to do here.
I mean, all those things win. Martinis win, beer wins, steak. I mean, all that stuff wins. Yeah, I think what I'm paying for at the white tablecloth is the experience.
100%.
I mean, that's it. You want that. That should be a special experience, and so a lot of those places do great ones. Honestly, like you participated at the Combine. Have you ever been there as a media member?
I'm trying to get there this year. I've not done it on this side of it.
Yeah, I'll see you there. We'll do it upright. But the thing that's crazy about Indy at the Combine, and especially Harry and Izzy's, Prime 47, St. Elmo's, that whole operation, is the whole league is there.
Yep.
Truly. So you will sit down. It's so crazy for people watching because you will sit down at a table. And for example, like last year, 2 years ago when we were there, we sat down at a table. It was a late reservation, and right next to us was Jason Kelsey, and he was going through. He was talking. He had a team of people there, some guys who looked like they were employees, looked like he was treating them, or at least soon to be employees. And he was talking about the pod that he does with Travis.
Yeah,
like they were discussing, like, okay, how do we grow this? How do we turn it into, something that is viable and something that we want to do from a business standpoint? And you're not. Listening in, but if you just eavesdrop a little,
you're there.
You're there. You're right next to him. I mean, you're not 2 feet away, so you're going to hear some stuff. So that type of stuff's crazy. And then the thing that always blows people's mind about the Combine is Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys bring their bus.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And that bus is parked at the Marriott in downtown, not the JW, the Marriott. But that bus drives them from place to place. So you will see it parked outside of Elmo's. You'll see people going in and out. Everything that happens at the Combine stays there, so no untoward details for me right now. But we'll save that for the tell-all. But like that, like it's crazy. You're just walking down the street, and there's the Dallas Cowboy team bus. So
that was how Miami was for the title game. And I'm going to try to get out to San Francisco for, just a day during the week of the Super Bowl. I'm not going to go for the game, but you go there during the week and you bump into everybody. But we walk into Joe's Stone Crab, and at one table you see all the people from the Big Ten conference office, and then you go to another table, you see a couple random ADs sitting, just having a conversation over some drinks. And it's like, and once you show up to the spot, all the people are there. Like you get the run of whatever you need.
Now, that's a joint that I think is worthy of reputation. The original.
Yes.
Joe's. They know what they're doing.
They do.
All right, we're going to attempt to beat the house, Bake. Let's do it.
Beat the house.
So, Bo, our guy Reese had himself a week last week as he went 4-0 in his picks. He's 8-2 now in the playoffs. You and I both split. We went 500, so we were both 2-2. I'm 6-4 now. You are 4-6. Reese has he's given his proxy for his picks to Joshua Perry. I said, Reese, what are your picks? Here's the numbers. He said, no. Joshua Perry is making my picks this week.
Oh, Reeser.
So
I'll tell you this,
you do it?
I'll tell you this about Reese, and he's not here so I can praise him, and he can't do anything about it. probably the last month of the NFL schedule cooked. Because Bake, you remember the hole he dug was massive.
Huge.
And he dug all the way out. He had like a 14-2 in there.
It was, what week was that? It was it the next to last week? Or
I think
it
so.
was week 16. He went 13-2, I
Yep.
believe.
Jeez. Yeah.
Just crushed it.
Yeah, he was on a heater at the end.
I mean, good for him,
Yeah,
honestly.
he was. Yeah.
All right, guys, the AFC Championship is up first. It's on CBS. Nance and Romo on the call. The New England Patriots, 5.5-point favorites, heading to face Jarrett Stidham and the Broncos.
This screams like with the Patriots' last couple playoff games. I mean, it just screams like 16-9.
Yep.
I just think Denver's defense is elite, and I think they're going. I think he'll get. Stidham's a pro. I mean, this isn't somebody who's never played. Like he's been in the league. He started. Sean Payton will have him ready. I wish it were slightly lower because I could easily see this being like 17-13.
Sure.
But I'll throw it. I'll go with Braves and throw it, and the Patriots win by a touchdown. But I would not be floored if Denver won this game. I really wouldn't. But I'm going to go New England, and I hate to do it, but I'll throw the points.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning the same way as you. Like, I could see the Patriots having a defensive score of sorts that maybe is the difference in this game. I mean, you look at Drake May, who's been very good this year, but the two questions you ask are, number one, the competition all year long, and again, going against Denver with the backup quarterback, and I agree with you, he's a pro, but like, it leaves a little bit to be desired. And then number two is his playoff efficiency hasn't been what it was in the regular season. So certainly could be a clunker for their offense. I just think they're in a better spot to win this game. Now, last thing I'll say on this matchup, and I'm gonna take the Patriots to cover this one. Romo, big bummer. Do not care to listen to him in the booth anymore. And I know I'm not the only one.
No, and we can expand on that in the next segment too, because it does feel like something could happen there on that front.
They pay a lot of money to that man.
They do, yeah.
The NFC Championship
Bake,
game.
where are you?
Oh, I'm Patriots. Sorry, I think Stidham makes.
Yeah.
I think this game is really close all the way, but I think Stidham makes a mistake in the fourth, and the Patriots capitalize and win by a touchdown. The NFC Championship game is a matchup of NFC West teams. The Los Angeles Rams head into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. The Seahawks are the home favorite, 2.5 points. This is you, JP.
Where I struggle with this one is Seattle at home. You give an advantage, no doubt. This has also been a matchup of teams that have played really close in the regular season. I mean, it's just not a lot of separation between the two. But I think this deep into it, there's still this question about, like, how much do I really, in my heart of hearts, trust Sam Darnold? And maybe it's a bit unfair to ask that at this point, but it just lingers in my mind. With the Rams, I know what I'm getting out of Stafford, right? Like, I know that they're going to be able to move the football up and down the field a bit, and especially when they need to get a play, I think they can get it. So I'm actually going to pick Los Angeles to win outright in this matchup.
So the last two times I've been in a spot against Seattle, I said I don't understand the line. It was twice against the 49ers. I understand it. Like, San Francisco was winning. They'd won like 6 in a row, and then Seattle beat the brakes off them. And then, again, like it was last week. Yeah, I mean, Seattle could win. I don't need them to win. I just need the Niners to play close, and Seattle bombed them. The Rams have been my pick from the beginning of the season to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I've watched them play closely the first 2 weeks of the postseason. They're not hitting on all cylinders. They're not. Give me the Birds.
Ooh.
Give me the Seahawks. I'll be rooting Rams, but give me the Seahawks.
JP, you talked about how close these two teams are. LA won at home by 2, Seattle won at home by 1, and that crazy comeback. This was from Adam Schefter earlier today. The last 2 seasons, in their 4 matchups, they've split 2-2. The Rams have 109 points. The Seahawks have 107. The Rams have 1,599 yards. The Seahawks have 1,589 yards.
There it is.
So it has been close. Give me the home team by a field goal. The Seahawks win, and they cover.
That's that one. I can't wait.
I can't either.
That one is that one's got a chance to be really, really special. You mentioned Romo. We can get into that a little bit. We'll get you updated on all the NFL coaching carousel, of which it is moving rapidly to a point, and I'll explain that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
You can save big on select varieties of Kroger cheese. 6 to 8 ounce packs are just $1.79 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
So let's talk price, Wilson.
Let's talk about the price, Bob.
I hear it a lot. Leslie, aren't Pella windows a bit more expensive?
The actual retail price is.
But we're not. We've got 5 different window lines for the $300,000 to the $3 million home. All are Pella Elite.
Oh, so when I get on the show, I'm going to have to bid lower. That'll come in super handy someday.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Don't start the new year with the same old ride. Right now, score low lease payments on all 2026 models, like $149 a month for a brand new Elantra or $159 for a new Sonata. Hurry in and kick off the new year right. Columbus or Dublin or glakeshyundai.com. With proof credit, $39.95 down plus tax, title, and fees. 2-year lease for 10K miles per year. New Hyundais come equipped with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Ends 2/2.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Hi, the Scott Antique Markets are back again at the Ohio Expo Center, featuring hundreds of vendors with collectibles and merchandise from all over the world. The market is one weekend monthly, November through March. Build your family heirlooms. You can find everything that gets old. Just take I-71 to exit 111 to enjoy America's favorite treasure hunt. Visit thescottantiquemarket.com for more information. Come join us at the Ohio Expo Center for the Scott Antique Markets. It's huge. It's the Scott Antique Markets this weekend.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We will see partly sunny skies today with temperatures right around that freezing mark and gusty winds, so there will be a wind chill in place. And then for tonight, mostly cloudy overnight with our lows in the teens. For Friday, partly sunny with temperatures falling throughout the day. We will only get into the teens for highs with the feels like eventually getting below zero again with gusty winds continuing. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
Hi, JP. You mentioned Tony Romo, and a lot of people have taken notice of it. It's been different. My theory on it is that when he first started, the gimmick that he employed, which was play predicting, was something no one had done in that position before.
Mm-hmm.
We'd never heard anybody do it. Now, he was largely able to do it because at that time he was fresh out of the league and knew exactly what so many of the teams were doing because he was a quarterback and he studied and so forth and so on. I think it's that last part that he doesn't do anymore. I mean, some of it is that he's been out of the league a while. The other part is it doesn't appear that he's wildly prepared for these games. And so it's Nance covering a lot of it. And I think he really likes him personally. And I think Nance is probably still the best in the business at this in terms of big game. But it feels to me like he's having to cover for him a little bit. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, he got all of that money. He had all that money from the Cowboys anyway. So money's always great and rich people want to be richer. So I get all of that. But he definitely has fallen off. And I think if you were to do like a draft of the network teams that are calling NFL games, he's probably the last pick at this point.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. It's been rough to watch, and I agree with all the things you said about him early on. Like, you know, he's probably because the NFL's got mics all over the field, so he's hearing these guys call some different things out. He knows exactly what it is. Like, he gives us a window into some of the adjustments. It's like, wow. And then he falls off. And the preparation part, I think, is a big reason why. I also think a lot of guys who get off the field, and especially when you have success that early on, you think it's an easy job. And the reality of it is, like, it is difficult to really be prepared. I will go as far as to say that being on this side of things, I don't think a lot of analysts prepare as much as they probably should or they can. But we don't see it because you're not calling, one of the games of the week for a huge broadcast network. And he's been exposed as somebody who definitely has missed a bit of a beat. Now, the thing that frustrates me the most about him is how he can get lost in a game sometimes. Mm-hmm. And it happened last week where I think it was the Bills were going fast or whatever the case was, and he's like, oh, I don't know why they're going fast. And it's like they didn't get the first, like they're going fast so they can get the first down. And it's like you got to be locked into that kind of stuff, regardless of how much you prepped on what these teams like to do. Like you could at least be tuned into the game.
Yeah, that's happened. That example you just gave is something that's happened a lot. I think my favorite group. My favorite pair right now is Buck and Aikman.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting with Troy because Troy was, my view of it towards the end of his time at Fox was that he was just kind of like a relatively, he was known, he's a Hall of Famer and Super Bowl MVP and all of those things, but he just kind of seemed like a generic former player broadcaster. And then Fox said, you know what? We don't want you. And he went, wait, you don't want me. And then Joe Buck said, well, if you don't want him, then I don't want you either. And then they both went to ESPN, and it was a shot of adrenaline for Aikman. He is unfiltered now, completely. Like, I don't know if you heard his comments about C.J. Stroud last week. Like, he is telling it like he believes it is, which is something that he didn't do a lot when he was at Fox. So I think almost like that swap ignited him in terms of what was possible. And I also think that there was probably a little bit of getting sick and tired of hearing about how great Tony Romo was.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
They live in the same city, buddy.
No doubt. It's an interesting thing because I feel like NFL guys have been more of the tell like it is. The thing I hate about NBA media is everybody's too close to the game and they're all friends, so nobody's critical. But I think it, like, when you are just honest and you give your opinion, whether it's right or wrong, I think it makes for really good TV. I've been partial, of course, I'm a company man, but Tirico's voice on games and how he reacts in big moments to me has been phenomenal this year. So I can't wait to see what he does with the Super Bowl.
He's probably taken the mantle from Nance, just because Jim doesn't do the college basketball anymore. You know, he's probably taken the mantle from Nance as the most versatile face of a sports network that we have.
Yes.
The idea that he called a playoff game Sunday night, right? Yeah. Sunday night. And then was it Tuesday doing NBA?
Yep.
And then we'll do the Olympics?
Yes.
So the ability to go from, and I, as just someone who was, you know, especially in the old days, was a broadcaster in the more traditional sense, I can't tell you how difficult it is to go from play-by-play of football to play-by-play of basketball to studio fronting the most important property a network probably has, in addition to the NFL, right? And Big Ten Saturday night. I mean, that's in there too. But like those things, to do that, to have that versatility, there aren't many. Nance can do that. Costas used to be able to do that. There's a few people that can do it, but it's a short list that can really bounce back and forth on that.
Well, I think NBC's getting baseball as well, and Tirico, I'm sure, will be a big part of that.
Yeah.
And I marvel at those guys. Like, I marvel at Paul Keels when he does an Ohio State-Michigan game, and then the next night he's somewhere calling Ohio State basketball. Like that. Yeah. That's amazing, but that's what he does, right? He calls Ohio State football. He calls Ohio State basketball. That's all he does. And I understand, like, Tirico, all he does is call games. And Joe Buck, that's what they do, is call games. But that's still hard when you don't see a team every day, week in and week out, switching different sports, too, like that. It's very impressive.
Now, you can lean on your color guy. You know? I mean, in TV, the play-by-play guy, your job is to describe what's happening in an accurate, timely, passionate way, and then steer out a little bit so that your color guy can come in there and add all the context. Radio, it's different. Like Big Daddy, I mean, he's got to basically talk nonstop.
Yes.
Every single thing has to be explained. In TV, you're watching it. So he can lean a little bit. It doesn't diminish the ability. But the idea that he can be as good of a studio guy as like Ernie Johnson and then be as good at play-by-play as Joe Buck, that's the talent. That's very few who have been able to pull that off. Let me get you an NFL coaching carousel update as we stand right now. 2 more hires this week: Jeff Hafley, Robert Saleh. We've had 4 coaching hires in this cycle: Harbaugh, Stefanski, Hafley, Saleh. What's amazing to me about this, and this is new, Joshua, NFL teams giving these guys 5-year deals. That's never happened in the league. Not as a norm. It's usually 3 or 4 year deals. It always has been. Now all these guys are getting 5-year deals. Hafley got over 10 a year. 5 years, 52. Stefanski got 5 years, 75.
Insane. And there were people who were like, oh, maybe Jeff Hafley might take one of these big DC openings in college. Like, you guys are stupid for even thinking that was a possibility. No. It's what intrigues me about this list is Hafley's kind of the outlier because he hasn't done the job before. I would pay, and I would give the 5 years to John Harbaugh. Kevin Stefanski won a couple Coach of the Years, right? Like, you can talk yourself into that. And the Titans, as an organization, need stability badly. So Robert Saleh, you give him 5 years, that makes a lot of sense to me. So I think part of this is the crop of coaches that they've invested in, I think you feel pretty comfortable with. It's just a curious thing to me now that some of maybe the bigger names are off the board. What do the rest of these organizations end up doing in terms of how they manage their coach that's coming in, with these guys having the knowledge that other dudes are getting a 5-year guaranteed money?
This now apparently is the norm. The 5 years is now the norm. So I don't know how this happened overnight. Is Jimmy Sexton representing all these guys too? I don't know. But it's now the norm. And just to clear up one thing really quickly here, on the 6 jobs that are open, Buffalo, Baltimore, obviously go win the Super Bowl jobs. Those 2 jobs still open. Pittsburgh, iconic franchise, never fires a coach. That job's open. Cleveland, Arizona, and Vegas are open as well. This is an important distinction in regard to the Rooney Rule. You have to interview 2 minority candidates in person before you can hire somebody. Okay? So this week, for example, you can't talk to anybody from Seattle or Los Angeles or Denver or New England. They're off limits. So, like, if you want to interview Nate Shieldhouse, that has to be next week to be able to do so. So even if, for example, the Browns love Nate Shieldhouse and they wanted to hire him as their head coach whenever they do that interview, and I don't know where their head is on the process at all, but even if they wanted to do that, they can't, because as it stands right now, they do not have a second minority interview that has taken place. So when Mike McDaniel pulled himself out of the consideration, that was an in-person minority interview that several of these teams probably were planning on having in there, and maybe it was for Mike to be the head coach, but you also have to make sure that you follow those rules. Now that's out, so you have to have a second one of those. So all of those jobs that are open, they have to have 2 in-person minority interviews before they can make a hire.
I'm very conflicted on the Rooney Rule as of today, and I think obviously they're trying to do a good thing, and I support what they're doing, and I'm a full believer out in the real world too that you have to cast a wide net and maybe look at non-traditional candidates instead of just the people that are obvious to you that are in your orbit. But the logistics of it, I think, makes it really difficult for organizations to make legitimate moves if they're doing it because they have to and not because that person is somebody that they genuinely want to hire. I don't think token interviews really get the job done anyway. I've come to feel like it's exhausted itself a little bit in practice. Like, you're not changing these owners' minds about how they want to hire in the first place. So I think it needs to be revisited in a lot of ways to make it more effective.
I think you're right, and I think the Shieldhouse example that I gave is a great one, because let's say somebody wants to hire him next week, and he's going to be probably coveted. There's still 6 jobs left, and a lot of people like what he's all about. But if you hadn't done an additional minority interview, you can't even hire him until you do. So then it becomes, and let's just use Eric Bieniemy, because he's back and his name's been in this stuff before. He just was hired as the offensive coordinator in Kansas City, returning to Kansas City. So if you are a team and you're calling up, the league's small, you got to remember that. You're calling up Eric Bieniemy and you say, we'd like to interview for the job. And he's like, man, I'm not doing that. I know what this is. This is a token interview.
Yep.
I'm not doing that. And I wonder if that's with maybe Mike was thinking that a little bit. Like, am I just the guy who's getting the boxes checked as opposed to real interviews? And so you're right in terms of in theory, it comes from a good place, but in practice, it's really difficult to do it.
Yes, that's the issue for me. Like, I respect what they're trying to do, and I believe in what they're trying to do genuinely, but I don't think the practice of executing the rule I don't think it makes sense right now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that. A little bit of Shelley time in 2 minutes. Jackets back on the ice. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Why settle for a cold burrito when you can get toasted at Hothead Burritos? Crispy golden on the outside, perfectly melted cheese on the inside. Create your burrito, quesadilla, or bowl and get it toasted at Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Hey folks, winter is here. The number one cost for everyone each month are those pesky heating bills that never stop increasing. It is time to take action and do something about it. Call USA Insulation today and get your home insulated with our premium foam for only $99 a month. Interest-free. That's right, $99 a month. You can have a warm, cozy home that you and your family deserves. 529-2440. 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Get your furnace fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling. 1-800-COOLING.
What would it take for my child to only miss half a day of school for treatment?
What would it take to fund a cure for childhood cancer?
It would take all of us to come together to support the research.
Join us. Go to childrenscancer.org today.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The Gloves. Shelley time.
Indeed it is. Jackets back on the ice tonight. The Stars in town, and they are quite good. I guess we blew it last week, buddy. By the way, me and Joshua Perry Joshua Perry joining me here. I guess we blew it. We said they're never going to lose again, and then they did.
Well, I guess, yeah, that's on us.
It's on us.
That's the broadcaster's jinx.
The results come and go sometimes, but in terms of what was there anything you saw in the loss to Ottawa that was troubling based on what we'd seen previously when Rick's been the coach?
Well, there was a couple goals early, and Elvis Merzlikins actually left the game because he wasn't feeling well. So that was, you look at a good start, and it does usually include a couple good saves.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. But there's a compete level that Rick Bowness wants them to get to, and he's seen glimpses of it, moments and periods, but not long enough. So, there's extra juice when you get a new coach. There's no question. And then, there's a bump of excitement, and then you settle into your game. But he's going to stay on top of them to see that compete, that battle, that, never lose a puck battle, which you will, but at least you're in the battle and competing. And I think we've seen that at times, and I think that's what he wants throughout their game consistently. Like, every line should look the same going over the boards. There's different skill levels, but like good teams that you see around the league, they just keep coming. Shift after shift after shift, and they look the same. And that's what he's trying to get out of this group for a consistent 60 minutes, which he hasn't seen a full 60 minute yet.
You talked about the compete level, and part of that is the preparation. What have you seen that's different in the way that they go about practice, or maybe what you've heard about how they meet that's different than before?
They're watching a lot of video. They're showing situations where battles are lost or reads are wrong. They're in practice doing battle drills and really pushing the pace, speed up. But there's also certainty. I think that these players really like the feedback they're getting, whether they're doing things right or wrong. And you're right, compete is a mentality, but it's also, there's hesitation in compete in hockey because it's so fast, and there's systems that you have to think of that sometimes with a new system and a new situation, as you go in to compete for the puck, you might be a second late because you kind of hesitated. Is that my guy? Do I go now? And it's going to take a little bit to get that out of their game. But there's the preparation is with Rick Bowness. It's the details of every single practice, every single play. He's on top of them.
Well, we've got some guys coming back, right? We got Lundestrom coming back. We got Marchment coming back. Jets going in net. How do you see him weaving these new guys coming into the mix and integrate them back into the lineup?
Well, Marchman's going to go on the top line. He's going to be, right where he was, that top line winger, and that's going to with Marchenko, and that's going to bring some of that compete that he's looking for right away. He just said in his press conference, though, he said, he wants Mason Marchment to have short shifts, and then, if he needs a break out there, he might skip a shift or two with his line, but he wants him to be as effective as he can as a disruptor. And that's exactly what they need right now. So, yeah, a little disruptor out there. So he's on the top line, and then Lundestrom will center that fourth line, and Gauntz will come out. And Lundestrom is also a penalty killer like Gauntz was, but, Rick Bowness wants to see these veteran guys that he doesn't know much about and see where they fit in. And he mentioned today, too, like it kind of puts guys in the right roles, right? So Cole Sillinger would come down a line and everything kind of gets slotted where everyone is. Sometimes you get players playing a little bit out of their comfort zone or a little above their punching weight. And when veterans come in like Marchment, it kind of settles down the lineup. So I think he's excited to see what he's got here in the next little bit before the break, exactly where guys fit in with this team that he can feel comfortable with.
Real quick, Jody, for our audience, will you go through like what you think what the lines will be tonight and the pairs?
Yeah, let me think here. Just give me a second. I think I have it on my photos here, but for the fourth line, it's going to be Heinen. So Heinen was a guy who's been up and down the lineup at times. He's going to be with Lundestrom, and then Aston Reese is out tonight. So you're going to have who's on that fourth line. So there's that could be a number of players, but Coyle is going to be in the middle with Olivier, which is interesting, right?
Yep.
And then that's been a good heavy line. Voronkov, I'm not sure if he's going to be on that line or not. It's going to be interesting where he goes too. Okay. And then you have that top line with Marchenko, with, of course, the top line center Fantilli and Marchment.
Okay.
So, you know, you're going to have good veterans on each line, which is key for this team right now. And, you know, players, you think about the depth. Now you've got a little bit of stretch in your lines, and that just provides a little bit of depth that they've been saying they've had, but with injuries, they haven't been able to get it.
Jody, I thought one thing that was of intrigue to me, at least, was Rick Bowness talking about this idea of having fun. And I get the season is long, and personally, I think winning's a lot of fun. They've done some of that. But how far does it go in the dressing room when he's trying to emphasize fun for these guys?
Yeah, no, it's, you know, there's a joy in the game, right? And I think that's what he's talking about. And, of course, winning is fun, but there's also the compete and practice, which is fun. You know, you come in every day and grind and worry about the situation of the past, it can get a little bit monotonous and you can get pulled the other way. But for these guys now, I mean, Rick Bowness brings an energy where he's back in the National Hockey League and appreciative and wants to find joy in every day. And you're seeing it with this team. And that's a big emphasis because that's when you get guys at their best. And when they're at their best, they're just kind of playing hockey, playing that free brand of hockey. So he's trying to get that out of them because, you know, you see a guy like Kent Johnson who comes in or Bowness comes in and he's kind of trying to figure out where he fits in this team now. But then he kind of, you know, Bowness just says, here it is. I mean, you're just going to play and have fun and bring joy, and you're going to make mistakes. But in those mistakes, as long as you know what you could have done or where you should have been, then, you know, this is what he wants from these guys.
I get you out of here on this one. This is an important one. I can't believe I failed the audience to this point.
Oh, boy.
Or you and all of us this bigly. Is the outdoor rink up?
No, it's not up.
Come on.
17-year-old son, 15-year-old daughter, I left it up to them, and they said, and then my son told me his buddies wanted to put it up with him, and he was like, nah. So, shame.
Oh.
It's a shame. This is the weather. This is it.
Buddy, you've never had a stretch of cold like this. In years, we haven't had a stretch of cold like this. That sucker would be cruising until March.
It might be too cold. But you know what's good? The ponds will be frozen.
They will be. Yeah. Be careful.
So there you go.
Kids.
Just get a shovel. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
All right, buddy.
You need at least 15 inches of ice. All right.
See? That's important. The 15 Lock into that, kids. We'll look forward to the broadcast tonight, buddy. Always good talking to you. We'll do it again soon.
All right, good talking to you guys. Thanks, guys.
All right, there he goes. A little bit of Shelley time on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. So he used to do, when the kids were little, he would do the rink in the yard. He would do
that.
Yeah, he would do it. And so it's really, because now he's got this long stretch of cold. It would thrive in this world, kids. All right, we'll get you three things on a Thursday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
It's 2026, the year you achieve your health goals. The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
When you're hiring,
Have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay, plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Join our resident gambling degenerates, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money. Sunday mornings at 9.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
All the action, none of the responsibility.
The Fan.
Get Eco.
ECO. When your drain is clogged, our drain team will clear it for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it will stay clear for at least a year. Or we'll clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Go to geteco.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. One of the great annoyances in life, at least for me, is the check engine light, right? You get in your car, you see the check engine light, and you go, I got to take care of that. I don't know what it is. So you let it sit there forever. It bugs you, and eventually a bigger problem happens. Well, every day in your house, your check engine light might be on, but it's not your engine. It's your windows, because you sit down on your couch, you feel the cold, drafty air coming in through your windows, and you go, I got to do something about these windows. But just like the check engine light, I'm afraid of how much it's going to cost, and I don't know where to go. I can't help you with your check engine light, but I can help you with your windows. Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale is going on now. Stop wasting money by letting the warm air in your house escape through your cold, drafty windows. You're spending more on your heating bills when you don't have to. Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale is the perfect time to address this problem. Plus, 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. That could be yours as well. Schedule an estimate today. WindowNation.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Hey, Bake, what do we have on the poll today?
The Daily Fan Poll over at 971thefan.com and on Twitter. How would you feel about the Browns hiring Jim Schwartz to be their next head coach? You've got love it, neutral, hate it, I'm not a Browns fan, and neutral is leading the way with 35.3% of the vote.
So this is my piece of advice for whoever's doing the poll. Just give two possible. Like it, don't like it. That's it. Because when you start doing don't care, not this, then you're not getting a true sample size of that thing. Like anybody who would take the time to vote not care, that doesn't even make sense.
I think the love it, neutral, and hate it are all good, but I'm not a Browns fan. I don't know if that needed to be in there. But
That's probably did need to be
pretty funny.
All right, time for 3 things on a Thursday.
1, 2, 3 things.
All right, number 1 for me. The numbers are coming in from the NFL this weekend, and your employer, my good buddy, NBC, had themselves a night. $52 million for Rams Bears. They weren't alone. $37 million on ESPN for Pats and Texans. That's the highest rated broadcast in the history of ESPN. It superseded the USC Texas game, the national championship game from 2005. The thing that is, there's so many things that are so startling about this, but the idea that in an era where there are more things than ever pulling at our attention, and pads and phones and 1,000 apps and all this stuff, the idea that the NFL continues to grow and continues to get more and more popular while college football is being brought right along with them, bigger numbers every single year, or at least maintaining, you can't even begin to illustrate how much of an anomaly the NFL is. So there is nothing else that does this, that keeps going up.
And
nothing.
Nobody, I mean, no reasons to watch TV nowadays, except for live sports. It's what people want to watch, particularly football. So good for me, because I got a contract coming up. I'm going to need them to put a little more money in my check here.
I think you're going to be safe.
All right.
You're safe.
First thing for me, my son James is going to be 2 here in a couple months, and feeling the terrible twos already. He went in the pantry yesterday. He grabbed a salt mill out of there and then just threw it on the floor. And so we're like, James, pick that up. And he looks us dead in the eye and says, no. Oof. Yeah, and I'm trying to regulate as an adult here while my son is yelling at me. It's a new thing.
The thing I remember telling Aim when the boys were that age, that's the toughest age, by the way. Like, it's 18 months until probably 2.5. Like, that's the trickiest part. Upwardly mobile. They think they can do anything and all this stuff. But I remember telling Aim, like, the only thing that I care about with our kids is that we don't raise a-holes. Like, I'm not having that. Like, you're not going to be jerks.
Yep.
And so we snipped that out quickly. There's a lot. Everybody's got faults. They got their own, but they're not punks. And that was like job one. I'm not raising jerks.
I like that.
First thing for me, I had something new last night. I had bison for the first time.
Really?
First time ever, yeah. It was kind of like a bison stew meat. It was kind of cubed like that.
Yeah.
The taste is phenomenal. I think I might have cooked it a little too long, though, because it seemed kind of chewy to me.
Okay.
A little bit, so I'm thinking maybe I cooked it a little too long. I have some bison ground beef in the freezer, too, so I'm excited to do that next and see how that goes, and then I think I'm ready for some bison steaks.
Ooh.
So
Just cook it just like you're cooking beef.
Yep.
Cook it exactly the same and just follow that. So somebody told me this. I am too lazy to look it up to know if it's true or not, so I'm just going to take them at their word. They said it very emphatically, that the American bison is the only species that we eat that has never had cancer.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, I don't know. He said it emphatically.
Well, somebody will tweet you if it's not. So
that's true. We'll get that. Number 2 for me. So so far we've had 3 snow/cold days this year. They have upwards of 5 built into the schedule, and after that, it becomes we got to make them up at the end. So I'm in the car with NBC, who's 14 now, and he's at this age where he just wants to be argumentative on anything. I don't know where he gets it from. And I go, dude, he's like, we could have a snow day on Monday. We could have a snow day on Friday. That's awesome. I'm like, dude, wouldn't you rather have a snow day? Wouldn't you rather be off in June than now? I said, what are you going to do with the snow day? He goes, sleep in, do nothing. And I go, dude, just think about what you just said. This is where we're at right now, where we are being argumentative for the sake of being argumentative. Everybody told me what teenagers were going to be like. I know I was one of them. I'm sure I did all of the things he's doing. But he is to the point where he will argue anything so long as it's opposite of me. And I got to get through it without throwing him through a damn window. But I know that it's coming.
He's going to be not maybe argumentative, but you're going to have to tell yourself until they're well into their 20s that their brains aren't fully developed. And like, it's easy for me to see that, right? Because I have a toddler. I know his brain is not there, but like as they get older, you have to just remind yourself their brains are still cooking, and this is why they do this kind of stuff to you.
Can I say that to him?
Yes, you should. You should let him know
name is not your brain is not fully developed.
No, you got to remind him.
Kindly leave.
Yeah, because you think you know everything.
I like that.
But you don't. All right, second thing for me, like I mentioned, I was down in Miami. It was a phenomenal experience. The one thing I'll say about the U being back is they bring so many stars along with them. It's not just former players. I saw Michael Irvin, saw Ray Lewis down there, saw Ed Reed. Then you see DJ Khaled, you see Fat Joe. Just anybody who is a fan of culture and sports ends up gravitating toward the U. And I think that's one of the bonuses of them being back.
It is. USC has that too. Those are the two that have that.
Including some certain film actresses as well.
Who cried after the game.
Make it on the TV.
Everybody knew.
My wife asked me who she was. She's like, why is everybody talking about her?
I don't know, honey.
Beats me.
Nah, I just went ahead and told
never
her.
heard of her.
JP, when she popped up, I looked right over at NBC, my 14-year-old son, and I wanted to see if he knew.
Oh, God.
And he didn't. He didn't. So I was like, okay, at least we don't have to have that talk yet.
Well, it's coming.
Second thing for me, I have one episode left of America's Team. And as I'm watching episode 6 last night, I'm just thinking, how would the Dallas Cowboys back then have played in today's world of social media and camera phones and all of that? I think it would have blown up a lot sooner than it did.
That it never made it.
The Dallas Cowboys, the Chicago Bulls, the 80s Lakers, like none of those entities, they are all thanking their lucky stars that they lived in a pre-camera phone era.
Mm-hmm. Those 80s New York Mets teams with Lenny Dykstra and Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden.
Well, hell, I mean, JP just brought up the U.
Yeah.
I mean, think about Irv. Irv had it at Miami, then at Dallas. I mean, it's no, different. Built different. No time for 3 today. We'll make sure we get all 3 tomorrow. Rothman and Ice coming up next. Big fun. Enjoyed that a lot, JP, as I always do. We'll be back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.